Laura is genuinely my least favorite person of this season because of this specific situation.
He is commercial nihilism. All right. He is a guy who will show the pessimism, the dread that we all go through, make the jokes, and guess what? We're laughing at the life that we're all living.
In the first place?
Because I'm hair. Because y'all ladies in there, y'all know them hairs is deep. You got to get a good tug in that. Little shawty, she ain't tugging that.
So that was wild. But after you've fallen out of the graces of not black people, because you were never in black people's graces. Black people never found you funny, Tiffany Haddish. Your comedy was always white comedy because it's less than. You're not. This podcast is sponsored by Graffiti Tax Services. For all your tax preparation needs, you can go to graffititax.com. We're going to put the link right here. It should be somewhere. And yeah, you can head to them during tax season. And if you have any financial or tax preparation questions, head to Graffiti Tax Services. They're our new sponsor. Thank you to Graffiti Tax Preparation Services. That's it.
Looking like a reference. Don't I make the rules like a reference?
That's exactly what Kanye want his bitch to look like.
A reference?
Yeah. he loves him a mood board ass girl. Like, he wants his girl to be the aesthetic.
You're right. That's true.
He curates his women to be that. He wants dolls. He doesn't want humans.
All right, now, so you are now listening to Talk FNF TV.
Woo!
I am your host,
Woo!
Rhetoric, with my lovely and amazing co-host, Miss Reality.
Hi, guys. What's going on? How you feeling?
I'm good. You good?
Yeah, I'm wonderful.
Time to bring another round to the people here. I know y'all missed us. We had some interesting engagement this week.
We did.
You know, somebody was upset about what I said. So
you were fully fat shaming.
I mean, I was just shaming her, and so then she came into our little whatchamacallit here, our comment section, and left a little, she dissed us a little bit, a little shade. She was just trying to talk about our growth of what we gotten so far.
I always think it's funny when people come for like our following when we haven't been doing this for that long, but go ahead.
I mean,
slay.
She's definitely going to eat. We know that. So she's definitely going to be on that kind of time. But let's get to it, man. We got a lot to talk about. I know you're excited about getting into some things.
Love is blind.
But our boy Killer Mike, I knew this was going to happen. Like, once you win the Grammy, that's when everybody start getting in your business.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody start having something to say about what you're doing.
When you're at the top, people start like looking closer and looking for stuff.
No, it definitely happens that way. All right, so I'm going to play this little video of Killer Mike. Some videos of have been resurfacing of him. And, man, I knew this was going to happen because he's very, even though he was working with Bernie Sanders and all them, he's very, like, right idealized. Like, he has a lot of right-wing ideology. So this was the first one that got everybody so pissed off because basically they called him a dream killer. So he's talking to two kids. The first kid that you can obviously tell he's going to be a Caucasian kid. And then he talks to a little black boy after that. So hold on, I'm going to play this video. This was on his show. I don't know. Did you watch this show?
I did watch the show. It was on like Viceland?
Netflix.
Oh, it was on Netflix?
It was a Netflix show. So
it was during the pandemic, right?
Either shortly, like 2021, it might have came out. So
yeah.
I'm a scientist, and I'm trying to find a cure for cancer. And I'm going to make a rocket that can go into the sun.
What do you want to do, Nero?
A president, and I will make
You want to be a president? Yes, Mason.
I forgot to tell you, I'm going to be a scientist, remember?
Yes.
And I'm going to make this potion that will make my whole family superheroes.
You owe your parents not to dream big. You owe it to your parents to dream practical and start making money as soon as you can. Like, you're not going to be able to be president. Do you guys know what a carpenter is?
Yeah. Yes.
Wow.
why is that the reaction is wow, though?
That's crazy. Because why would you tell So all of these kids were in the same room, right?
Yeah, they were all sitting down in a classroom together.
So he was talking to all of them when he was saying you owe it to your parents to dream practically and start making money immediately.
Yeah, he was talking to all of them when he said that.
And then he directs his attention to the little black boy, and then he's like,
he stopped.
You're not going to be president, though.
Yeah,
you
he did.
Specifically can't dream big. You, nigga. Everybody can't dream big, but specifically you, little nigga.
That is how everybody
You
took
can't
that.
dream big.
I didn't take it like that. That's how everybody took that. I thought he was being like kind of what I said earlier on one of our shows, where I was like, you have to, the carpenters, the plumbers, the mechanics, like we have to push that, make that cool.
We do have to make that cool. I think it's
one president. It's a million niggas.
Yeah, I think it's very important for us to put more importance on trades, but at the same time, like these are children that you're just seeing for that day. Like, why would you not just be like, go ahead, yeah. It's a very hard job, and you have to be a very specific way your entire life. But if that's what you want to do and you want to dedicate your entire life to, it's difficult. But go ahead.
I'll tell the story. You let me know if we need to cut it out. But when my son went to a camp, right? Mm-hmm. He was a soccer camp, and he told me how he scored a goal, but the kids, they lost. So what I told him was, at the end of the day, if your effort is to win the game, you didn't do that. And I was telling him, like, when you're special people do special things. You have to do it to be that. Can't just be special just because you say you are. Mm-hmm. And you have to do it. So I told him, like, hey, yeah, you made the goal, but you didn't win. Like, so I didn't feel like I was shooting his dream down. I just felt like I was pushing him to accomplish more.
That's not bad if you framed it in that way.
Yeah, I felt like I did.
Yeah, but like this
he was like
is
7, so I don't know how he might have missed interpret. He was like 7.
Killer Mike didn't frame it that way. He was like, and you're not going to be president. Like, that's all he said. Like, what?
I mean, but the world is going to say that to you in a way less subtle way. Like, it's going to show you can't be president in a lot more.
You think that was a subtle way? He said.
No, I'm saying that wasn't subtle. I'm saying the world is going to show you in more, more subtle ways.
Okay, yeah.
But I mean, that's a reality and a truth that, like, more often than not, like, you're probably not going to be president. This kid over here is talking about making a super potion for his parents. Like, come on, guys, we're shooting a little too high here.
I feel like when he said you owe your parents to dream a little bit more practically, he was talking to that kid, though. Like, you're not going to make a rocket that goes into the sun while making a potion that makes your parents superheroes.
Yeah, like I said, and he can dream like that, too, because that was a little white boy. But the little black boy, I feel like it's important to put a shine and a light on these trade jobs, and I think that's important. Now, I'm not going to feel like the tradesman is going to fix the black community. You know what I'm saying? I don't think there's a trade for that. But I think it's important to frame these jobs and make them look and treat them as how important they are.
Yeah.
Like, you do not want to wake up and your toilet don't work. I promise you. Like, that sucks.
And these people make a good amount of money. Welders, carpenters, plumbers make so much money. Like, if you are good at your craft and you're doing it for a long time, then it's almost guaranteed that you're going to be making more than just a good living. So it's not even like a bottom of the barrel option. It's a very, very good option. And we do need to highlight it more.
But so another video came out where it looks like they were like at a town hall meeting, mm-hmm. and they're talking about just some of the things that go on in regards to like teenage pregnancy, which I think it's important to note. Teenage pregnancy is down. Like, statistically speaking.
Mm-hmm. Like, that's because the kids on their phones and not fucking.
That, and also it's like, I mean, that's true.
They don't want to do this.
But also, too, more women. Also, too, more girls have access to different birth control. Like, a lot of y'all are getting a shot at 16.
You can order birth control online.
Yeah, I'm talking about even the shot. Like, it's even more where you don't have to take the pill anymore.
Yeah.
They'll just give you the shot now. They'll give you all sorts of shit to put the UDI up there.
Period. Fuck them kids.
Hey, no, you got to bring it. You got to put it all. If we got a little girl, she get all of it. We just going to super all up. Shot, UDI, all that.
Don't know about that.
We got to keep her safe.
I don't know about that.
You got to keep her safe.
We are going to.
That's our job, is to keep her safe.
I think we are going to openly talk about sex in a very candid way with our children from as soon as it's appropriate. I think around like 10.
Yeah, but we got to do some. We got to do some biological policing.
But birth control just does so much to your body as a woman, like as far as like mood swings and this and that, and like
she ain't a woman, she a little girl.
It messes you up. So I just don't want to. I don't want to mess with our kids' hormones and their balance and all of that before they're even like fully cognitively developed.
I'm sure by that time that happens, the medicine will be
you're like
shored up.
Such a consent warrior.
Yeah, but as a child, her consent comes from us.
No, that's not how you feel.
Yes, it is.
That's not how you feel at all.
Yes, it is. Her consent comes from us.
Hypocrite.
I do.
He's moving the goalposts because that's not how he feels.
Okay, now tell me how I feel, and then we can get back to what we're talking about.
Because when it comes to like exploiting your child and this and that, you think that your child needs to give their consent to be able to do that. But when it comes to body and mentally altering, like chemistry altering drugs, you don't need their consent for that.
When we're trying to make sure the reproductive organs are in control, no, we just rallying that in.
I feel like if we foster a space of knowledge and openness, then that is not going to happen.
I feel like we can do both.
Like my parents did. They fostered a space of knowledge and openness. My mom had sex talks with me once a week. Once a week. It was wild.
The thing that you're saying doesn't mean that we can't do what I'm saying either. Like, we can do both. That's the dope shit.
I'm telling you that I don't want to do that, but we'll hopefully by the time that we have a child, and if our child is a girl, because it's one and done. Whatever come out first is what's coming out last. Period. Okay? So if we even have a girl, then we'll get there when we get there, when we have to have that conversation. But I do not like what birth control does to women's bodies and brains.
All right, so this kind of actually bleeds into the next topic with Killer Mike in it. So this is the other video right here. So again, he was at a little town hall meeting.
Pregnant as a teenager, young man and woman get pregnant. This is the 2-year plan. First 2 years are debt-free. You don't have to pay the government anything back. So she doesn't get to drag him into court and the court doesn't say, you owe us money for investing in your child through food programs, through early Head Start programs. Because in those 2 years, the boy has the option, or not even the option, he has the demand of the co-man to then go to a trade school. You have to go to a trade school, which incentivizes the United States to do it because we need more tradespeople. We don't have enough carpenters, we don't have enough electricians, we don't have enough people building roads. In my community, the girls are going to college and graduate. They have no men to marry because the boys are not going to college in the same way. My teachers were married to a tradesman. My teacher, who we call doctor, her husband owned a locksmith company. Her husband was a carpenter, was a mechanic. So they had a good life. Their kids went to school right the same schools we went to. I think that the incentive to solving the child support problem and a part of solving our infrastructure problem is to incentivize young boys who have gotten a girl pregnant. You must now go through 2 years of trade school.
Well, wait a minute. So, okay, I like what you're saying.
Let me give you the rest of the answer first.
Okay, go ahead.
After that boy graduates, you get a further incentive if you and the girl marry. If you and the girl marry, we'll give you these incentives: zero finance home loans, something out of HUD besides an apartment with a leaky faucet and rats and roaches in it, but incentivize marriage, which then strengthens our community, the black community, and strengthens the greater community, because now you have more American marriages, you have people with stronger financial stability, and you have tradespeople married to women of education, and you begin to recreate communities like what Auburn Avenue was, what Edgewood was. I believe you could do this from the executive order, because the money that funnels down from the feds through the states to help mothers, then it can be attached, well, we're not only helping mothers, we're helping fathers too. If a boy gets a woman pregnant, not only does she receive TANF, I see your face, right? Good idea. If a woman receives TANF, she receives this, the boy now has a must. You're federally required now to go to trade school. And in those 2 years, what you put out on the other side is a person who's trained, a person who has an incentive to marry, and a person who becomes a taxpayer and not just a taker of tax.
So I feel like he needed to continue on with like what the woman would get in child care and the incentive to keep the child and not abort that shit.
Well, that was going to be my thing is this. If you, to end all this, to not even get into this discussion, and again, being in a state that's in the South where they're trying to limit this, safe, free, knowledgeable abortions ends all of that.
Like, like what we were talking about before, knowledge, sexual health knowledge, comprehensive sexual health knowledge, and then
the option to choose.
Yeah, that's it. The all of this is not going to be necessary if there's safe free abortions.
Like, you just kind of get all of that taken out of the way. Like, again, the teenage pregnancy rate is low, and then when you really think about it, there's studies that show that the teenage girls are not sleeping with their teenage boys. Like, they're sleeping with older men, which is problematic in and of itself. But yeah.
So teenage pregnancies,
I'm a rare occurrence.
Are usually like
older. Yeah.
Ooh.
I'm a rare occurrence when it comes to that.
I'm gonna do a Google, but
yeah, there was an article I read about that.
Crazy.
Yeah, it was an article.
I did not know that.
Yeah, when the people were sending, like, talking about this, somebody put an article about that where they were saying, like, girls were having twice as more sex in high school or whatever than the guys. And it just kind of led to the.
Wait, so the girls are having more sex than the guys in high school, but
and they started having sex younger. Yeah.
Oh, so ooh.
Like the article was talking about girls were saying they started to have sex younger. They were having sex more frequently, and you can kind of put pieces together that they're sleeping with older guys.
Oh wow, that is very interesting.
I'm pretty sure that's more common than people would want to believe.
Yeah.
Like I said, because
I definitely don't want to believe that.
Yeah, my teenage story, we were 3 months apart, so like that's I think that's probably rarer than most people would think.
Yeah.
Then how common it, not everybody, not like 16 and pregnant where they just showed everybody it was all kids. Like, nah, these be nasty men involved with these girls.
Yeah. My high school had alarming amount of teenage pregnancies, but also my high school was huge, so it was, I don't know how ratio wise that would work out, but there was so many pregnant girls in my school, bro. So many. But our graduating class was also 1,400 people, so
I feel like it feels like it's a lot when you're younger, because you're a kid and you're not used to seeing that. But I think when you actually do that math on it, they weren't as many as you percentage wise as you would think.
Maybe not, but it was like y'all are
folks was getting busy.
Y'all are getting down.
But yeah, a lot of folks he's getting a lot of heck, for a lot of his opinions. I told you this is what was going on. This is why he did the arrest thing, because he getting hell for some of his right leaning opinions. They was talking about it. I remember he had a conversation with what's the Republican Kemp. He was having conversations with Kemp. Again, man.
Ooh, they said teen pregnancy has gone down 77% in the past 20 years. It's been becoming less and less and less of a problem.
Yeah, that just showed you how dumb I was. But you were the dumb kids. But yeah, like the numbers is staggering going down when you have so much more access to birth control and things of that nature. Like it just goes down.
That's what happens.
So, and
we love that for us.
But I mean,
kids.
Let's just kind of wrap this subject up with it. But I just seen that like Killer Mike he's going to have to do a lot of cleaning up in regards to the community, because I just see where it shows a lot of traitor-like behavior, man. I said the same thing about him supporting Atlanta PD and shit. Like, again,
how could you support Atlanta PD after like all of the rhetoric that you've been spewing for?
Also, a lot of people noted too, this was like some slavery type shit. You trying to get niggas in trades and stuff to work. Like, I get what people were trying to say. I just hate that they're trying to use trades like that's a bad option. That was my only problem. I don't want to see it like it's a bad option for what people need to do. It just shouldn't be a mandatory.
With your hands and manual labor is not slavery. It doesn't always. It's not synonymous.
But when you make it mandatory, by the state.
That was the thing that I was like very iffy about in his whole speech, because if you want to opt out of that, is there a punishment in this system? Like, those are the questions that I would ask him about this.
Yeah, I mean, they would do some probably jail time knowing him.
Yeah,
they want to throw niggas in jail. Like, that's the shit they be on, man. This is what it is. Like, and it always bothers me, this brand of black man, because instead of wanting to incentivize things more so, they want to control. They want to put you in positions where they control your behavior, control who you are, control your outcome. instead of actually giving you opportunities and information and doing the work so that you can make the best decision.
I think instead of saying the word mandate or require or any of that verbiage at all, then he should have used incentivize only, and that's it. And then it would have been a completely like different conversation, because if that was the case, if you're offering free trade school to young people who are having children and then period, that's it, that's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of different things that can be pulled out from it, and there's a lot of good stuff that should be addressed. But again, we get these guys that are obsessed with these right-wing, talking points, and then we have this guy who's pretty well off for what he does, and again, it tends to make you look like you seem everybody around you as the help in the work when you try to encourage that. So I get that's why a lot of people are a little off put by it, and it just seems like you rather not address the real issues that's going on. Instead you rather try to enforce whatever ideology you can and create this nuclear family, logic that, people perceive.
It's a really pretty Band-Aid.
Yeah, for the most part. It looks nice, but in the same thing, it's like, what stops the guy from having multiple children and going around things of that nature? Like, what things of that nature? But it's like, it's supposed to be the woman. Like, you're supposed to be the one stopping yourself from.
Yeah, you need to provide the woman with options so that she can not do this if she doesn't want to do this.
Well, I was just saying, look, of being the second, third, and fourth woman, that's on her to not make her that. All right, man. So we got to get into. You want to get into Love Is Blind now, or? Well, hold on. We did have that other story. Speaking of the trades, where it kind of messed up for that other lady. So there was a woman. What state was that? Was she in? You had the article, right?
Yes.
So there was a lady who she posted a video on TikTok where she was trying to, teach her daughter a trade. In the cosmetology field is what you would call this, right?
It's like esthetician, so cosmetology.
So she was like, well, this girl's like 7, 8, right? Young girl.
Yeah, she's super young.
She had this girl waxing pussy.
She's 5 years old. Her daughter.
Shit.
So it's in Tennessee. The mom was so she posted a video of her daughter doing Brazilian waxes, and the daughter is 5 years old. I don't even know how a 5-year-old has the strength to wax in the first place. Because them hair.
Because y'all ladies in there, y'all know them hairs is deep. You got to get a good tug in that. Little shawty, she ain't tugging that.
So that was wild, but I assume it was around Valentine's Day. And then, like, as a woman, when you walk into a waxing studio and then, like, there's a 5-year-old doing your wax, like, I don't care how desperate I am or what day, like, what I have coming up, I'm leaving. I'm leaving immediately because that's creepy as hell. I'm not going to let a 5-year-old wax my pussy. That is wild.
And again, I understand that, but I feel like, and maybe this is just my weird thought about it, I just feel like we were too much in the conversation. People were sexualizing just her being naked in front of the girl. And it's like, again, I understand it can be inappropriate. People can have their thoughts on it, but when we really kind of just dial back what we're talking about here and see, like, somebody being naked isn't inherently sexual. It's not inherently, like, nude beaches aren't fuck fests. They're people just naked in a particular area.
They are actually very nice communities. Can I tell a really quick story?
Sure.
I went to a nude beach. I think it was in I went to a nude beach in high school because they have one on Long Island. So I go there with my friends, right? And then we're just like topless. But then like these two old white men like come up to us and then they're like, hey, never seen you here before, because apparently this is a community of people. So the same people go to this nude beach all the time. They're nudists. This is the only place that they can like really do their thing. So they all know each other. They immediately knew we were new. Plus we're black. So they come up to us and they're like, if anybody gives you any problems, they point like right up the hill. The cops were right there. They were like, police are right there. You can also grab us. Let us know if you need anything, and just walked away. And it was a great experience. They were like, we come here all the time. We're always together. Just if you need anything, just let us know. And it was really like non-creepy in general. Very safe.
No, I mean, that's kind of like a big part of it when you have a real healthy community like that is making sure everybody feels safe and knows where the safety words are and where the safety people are. But it's not like a sexual environment in a lot of those situations.
One bit.
And we have this culture, especially in America, where we sexualize naked bodies, we sexualize breastfeeding and all that other stuff. And it's like, I don't think she should go to jail for like anything like sexual or mistreatment of a child or like anything crazy like that. Like, she was teaching them a trade that just so happened to do with your body. And like,
it's just like, to have a 5-year-old specifically doing that is just like a little weird. Like, why do you have your 5-year-old doing that with you? And then she said that it was like a lot of women and she made over $700. Each wax is like $40. So how long did you have your child working doing that for that long? It's just
like, I understand child labor laws. Like, I'm cool with that. Like, we can talk about that discussion because Lil Shawty need to get paid for her money. Like, I'm with that. But I just don't feel like the conversation of like, oh, this is disgusting and gross. And like, to me, I want to move to a world where we pass that. Like,
so the Tennessee police, when this came out, put something on, I think it was Twitter, but they issued a statement saying that like anybody that has this footage, anybody that shares this footage is going to be investigated because you are in possession of child pornography.
That's crazy. That's what I'm saying. Like, that should not be CP at all. That should not be any kind of CP at all. Like, it's a part of the human body, yo. Like, so, I guess. Like I said,
maybe it's just like video of a child being near
a new body. But context doesn't matter.
Parts.
But then, like, there's no context to be had with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like it's
a weird situation.
It is definitely weird, but it's because we make sex so taboo. We make it so like this weird thing, especially now. I feel like we're going like backwards in time with everything. Where how many, like, we got the AI now dressing up the women. So I mean, it just seems like, man, it's just crazy. All right, man, let's get to the Love Is Blind.
Yeah, so the woman was arrested, and she was arrested for child neglect and child abuse. So she wasn't charged with any like CP or anything.
Well, I mean the abuse is enough for that. I mean,
yeah, but it's not looking good for her. But she is in jail, and she deleted her Instagram and she deleted the video after that. But it was too late. She in jail.
See, now it kind of makes me think about this other dude. Have you seen? And then we can get to Love Is Blind real quick. It's the emergent. He's like an emerging king dude. What is his name? He's also been a dude who's been like having the videos where he's showing the kids how to change the oil. You seen those videos?
I have.
He's been getting a lot of flack too because he did a teaching the kids how to talk to the police video. And in the video, he was on that some ball shit, you know, how to talk to the officer. You know, and he had a black officer in the video stuff with him. And again, I know people like him, again, have good intentions when it comes to like talking to the kids and explaining. But what you fail to realize is the problem is directed at the police because they're the ones with the job. They're the ones who took the oath. So their conversation with us should be more of a discussion than how our conversation goes with them. So that's why people were saying you should be teaching them. Yes, they should know their rights. They need to make sure a police officer isn't trying to lie on them because this nigga told them to open up all their windows. The police can throw something in your car if you open up all your windows like that. Like what the shit that he was saying to do to try to make the police comfortable, if he had bad intentions, could set up the kid.
Yeah, it could put you in a compromising position if you're like willing to bend over like that.
Like, I understand, like, you trying in your way thinking you saving kids from a bad experience with the officer by complying, but at the same token, the problem with the police is not us complying. It is them overstepping their bounds and taking people's lives when they are not executioners. They are just people who are to enforce the law. And that's where guys like that, and again, this kind of just surmises everything that we're talking about. Where just people just don't understand, like, the systematic things have to be addressed if you want anything to change, because all you're doing is just basically being a bully, because you're just picking on people who are affected by a system, because fortunately you weren't. But appreciate that. All right, let's get into the good stuff. Love is Blind.
Let's get into the messy shit. So Love is Blind season 6 is out. The Lachey's are at it again. I don't know how Netflix keeps Netflix keeps letting them do this because they racking in the money and we keep watching. So let's just shut up and get into it. The cast this season, I'm just going to read through it really quickly and then we'll get into the first 6 episodes. So the first 6 episodes dropped. As of now, when you're seeing it, the next 3 episodes have dropped. So we're up to episode 9 now. All right. So the women, Brittany, Alejandra, Amber, Desire. Oh, that's her name. AD. Her name is Amber Desire, but AD, Mackenzie, Amy C, Sarah Ann, Danette, Suni, Laura, Jessica, Danielle, Chelsea, Amy, Amber, Ashley. Those are the women. And then for the men, we have Kenneth, Matthew, Austin, Jamal, Jimmy, Vince, Clay, Nolan, Trevor, Drake, Ariel. Is that a man? I don't know. We didn't even see him. No camera time. Jeremy, Dion, Ben, and Johnny. So the first episode, of course, starts with the Lachey's coming into both the men's and women's quarters. And
is he still wearing platform shoes?
Probably.
Did they look like they were the same height?
Yeah, they did.
Oh, he's still doing it. That's a nasty little man.
Ew, right?
You're nasty. You're sick.
Yeah, Nick Lachey apparently wears platform shoes when he's filming Love is Blind because he's shorter than Vanessa.
You're a nasty man, Nicholas.
You just embrace your height and be a short king. Like, we're definitely going to judge you. I was going to say we're not going to judge you, but we're going to judge you. Everybody hates short men. Continuing. So...
Especially when you're such an agent of chaos.
Right? Like, he'd be like, and of course, I'm Nick Lachey. What do you mean, of course? Who are you? Who are you?
I missed his reality show he had with Jessica Simpson. Chicken of it's tuna? Chicken of the sea is tuna?
I was going to say, that's the only thing I can think about when I think of that show is her thinking that chicken of the sea was chicken in a can. Like, girl. Okay. So episode 1, we're going to go by episode, and then we're just going to really quickly talk about what we cared about in each episode. I'm going to skip over a lot of things because a lot of things happened and I don't care about a lot of these people. So the first thing that stuck out to me the most in episode 1 was Matthew.
My man.
Rhetoric loves Matthew for some reason, but that's because they're both psychopaths. So,
yo, he came in with a plan and he executed.
So Matthew is shown with a list of questions that he pre-prepared that he's asking women. When women ask him the question back, he's turned off. He's like, oh, I didn't know that you were going to ask me questions too. I thought I was just going to be asking you questions. And then he's also shown just like getting up and walking out while women are talking if he doesn't like their answers.
Keeping it a bean. We not on your time. We on mine, ma'am.
Immediately, I'm like, does Matthew know how to talk to other humans?
Oh, but does he?
Because how did you not know that probably these women would be asking you, and you? That's a regular human conversation thing. And then tell me what your opinion is about the same thing you just asked me.
You know,
Tell me about yourself in this matter.
I think that was a little bit of editing. I think there was some editing to do with that. That wasn't all making him look like fucking Dexter. Like, they really, at the beginning, they had that man looking like a straight, he was trying to put somebody in the fridge.
Matthew was literally looking like a psychopath. He did come out in the Love is Blind comments on Instagram and said that he did not walk out while any woman was talking, and that was all editing. He said that they're trying to make him look like a terrible guy, and he didn't actually do that. Like, he said he didn't get up and walk out on anybody.
Yeah, like I said, it looked like it was editing the way they did that.
Mm-hmm. But then the women there were some women that were like, hello?
There was that one.
Yeah.
But that could have been just him being quiet for a second and not responding. And
because he's mad awkward.
Yeah. So, like I said, anything you could, with editing, you can make anything look like you want.
Yeah.
Any kind of conversation. You can put people's words in front of them that they didn't say out of order. So I could tell with him it was a lot of editing, but I liked the kind of what they was trying to do with it. Like
he might be a dick, he might not, but he definitely doesn't know how to interact with people, because he definitely was like, well, I didn't think you were gonna ask me back that question. What do you mean?
Well, I mean, that nigga did look. they played my man to make him look real sinister at the end, but we'll get there.
We will get there. So then, Matthew and AD make a connection after we're shown that he's just being a menace in these pods. So it's like a little surprising, and she's black, and I'm like, does he know she's black? The whole time. Throughout the thread of them interacting in the pods, I'm like, does he know she's black? So,
because he from the sticks, like he from real country town,
what
Midwest man,
what man? So, then AD and Clay make a connection. Clay is a black man. He's like a very like smooth type player. Like he's real
chingy type.
He's a prototype that we all know as a black man, you know. So, oh, let's go back to Matthew really quickly. Because he seems like he hates every woman but his woman. Like, after he makes the connection with AD, I'm like, okay, I like this. He seems like he's gonna be, like, super loyal because he hates everyone but her. But we'll get there when we get there.
Sinister.
Child. It was not. I was wrong. So then Clay and AD make a connection. Clay admits to like having a big ego, being like this like machismo type guy. Like he admits to being that. He admits to relying on his looks a lot. And he also says that he's like worried about how he will be able to make a connection in the pods because they don't know he's fine.
He definitely looked like if Chingy and Tupac were like one person.
But taller.
Yeah. Well, let their heights kind of balance each other, you know, give each other. But that's what he looks like a little bit. He does. You're right. And when he found out about Matt, he was tight.
So we'll get there when we get there. That's not this episode.
My bad.
Like, slow down. So that's the first love triangle is Clay, Matthew, and AD, but only AD knows at this point that they're in a love triangle. The next love square, this is a mess. So this is Trevor and Chelsea and Jimmy and Jessica, right? So they all make connections within the first episode. Jessica eventually in the beginning, she says that she's not going to tell the men that she has a child. She eventually tells Jimmy that she has a child. And then he's like, oh, like, he doesn't take it too well, but he doesn't let her know that it's like a deal breaker for him, which I feel like, let me know what you think about this. And let me know what you guys think about this too, because I feel like Jessica should have, I don't think that was a good plan to have. You should, within the first dates, let these men know that you have a child, because he was like afraid to then tell you that it was a deal breaker after the fact. You need to, like, I think you should lead with that, because Jimmy wasted your time for mad long before you told him that you had a child. If you told him that you had a child, he probably would have not talked to you, and you probably would have been freed up to make genuine connections, and it would have probably ended different for you.
I think she just had an authentic fear of they can't see her, because if we're being honest, she's probably one of the most attractive women.
She is
on
the most
side.
attractive. Like,
it made sense why she had a kid.
Her and AD are the most attractive women on this season, definitely, I think. But yeah, she can't rely on her looks at all. So
there's a lot of guys who would, when she told them she would have a kid in a normal dating scene, would probably let it ride because of her overall attractiveness. But in this situation, I can understand why you don't throw that out off jump, because that is going to throw the person off. But anytime you reveal that information, it's going to throw the person off.
Yeah.
No matter what.
She does say that her daughter is 10 years old. It's not like she has like a baby. And then she says that her and her baby daddy have an amazing co-parenting relationship. He's in her life. They're fine. They're not together anymore. They haven't been together. They weren't together after like her being like a year old. So it's been a very long time and they're on good terms now.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's still going to be a difficult situation.
It's a hard sell, but
especially over just the talking. It's definitely going to be hard.
Let us know what you guys think, though, because I do think that she should have revealed that a little bit sooner than she did reveal it. Maybe not in the first date, but maybe in the second date. Like, I don't know. But
she didn't want the scarlet letter, babe. She didn't want the scarlet letter.
Yeah. Immediately after that, Chelsea tells Jimmy that she's been married before. She was married for 5 years. She was married very young, and then they grew apart and got divorced. She seems to not take his reaction well, but his reaction is like, damn, like, I'm being piled on. Like, y'all, this is a lot coming from me from a bunch of different ways, but he does tell her, like, out of all the news that I got, this is the lightest news. So I'm not even, like, it's not even that big of a deal. So
well, she didn't take it like that.
But she didn't. She starts crying.
Like boo-hooing, like all the way through the whole girl quarters.
Yeah. These people are constantly drunk and underfed. So, like, context and understanding and communication, I don't think is the best. So I don't know if Love is Blind as a concept is the best thing.
And I think there might be
these people.
I think there might be like maybe some muffling through the speakers too for hearing each other, because clearly the communication just don't be coming clear through sometimes.
I think
it's a little choppy.
We'll get there, but I think that's just Chelsea. So events during the first episode also, Clay, after they make a connection, Clay and AD, he's like, I need to know what you look like. I have
show me that pussy.
I have a certain standard. I need to know that you have like full lips, a little waist, and a fat ass. And then AD is like, no. Absolutely not. Like, I could tell you that I have thick thighs, a fat ass, and full lips and all that, like exactly what you're looking for, but like, this is not what we came here for. We're supposed to fall in love sight unseen. And
so that's why I was confused. Is that
not
a rule? Is that not a rule where you can't tell the person what you look like on a, like, I feel like that's a rule.
So a lot of people past Love is Blind members have come out and said that, like, eventually over time it's not like unlike people to like give like little hints about what they look like, but in general, like, people don't straight up like ask if you're an attractive person. Like,
everybody's gonna say yeah.
You can't just ask that. That's wild.
Everybody's gonna say yeah.
Yeah. So after that, Matthew asks AD about her father.
Hold on. Can we go back to Clay real quick?
Yeah.
AD. Do you think she's what he was looking for?
I think she is half of what she was looking for.
I think yeah. I think if we were like out of 10, she's probably like 6 or 5 or 6 of what he was looking for.
Yeah, I would say like 6, 7.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll get there too. So next, Matthew asks AD about her father and like if he would have how he would like to go about asking for her hand in marriage. She says that her father is dead. Instead of consoling her about that, he's like, well, that's a roadblock I'm not going to have to deal with. Excuse me?
I think that was just taken out of context.
Excuse me? But she did say that, like, she, like, even if he was alive, like, that's not something that you would have to do because I'm not close to my father at all. Like,
yeah, she laughed it off. It wasn't like she was
daddy
upset.
Issues. So she was like, yeah, fuck that nigga. Honestly, like,
see how easy
like,
it is for them to hate us? Easy.
We don't know what her deal is with her dad, so stop being such a man. I was writing for other men. Immediately writing for other men.
You want me to grab my bundle of sticks and break my hand?
Don't do that, because I'm not a dumb woman. I'm not dumb. Okay, so after Matthew says that, AD goes back into the women's quarters and hears Amber. Apparently, Matthew has made another connection with another human woman. Whoa, I was shocked. I was like, another woman can stand Matthew?
I could tell the game was laying on thick with him.
Like, what? So, this woman says, Amber says that, like, Matthew, like, asked her to leave with him and everything. So AD keeps what Matthew told her to herself and speaks to Matthew first about it. So that's how the first episode ends.
That would have been my mood too, though, if I was mad, like, because he even said he not trying to be no celebrity out of this. He trying to get his woman to go home.
He did say that. He was like, I'm not here for camera time.
So I feel him. Like, that would have been my, hey, baby, let's go home. I'd have did that. I'd have told like 5 women in the same night, let's just leave right now together. We meant to be with each other.
Okay. So
we can start our own show.
That's crazy. That would be a terrible way to go about it, because the women in their quarters are all going to talk about it together. And then you're going to be,
man, oh my goodness.
You're going to be in outs with all of the women.
I need you to do this one thing for me, baby. I need to know that you for real for me. I need you to keep a secret. But I want you.
I'm going to tell you I'm going to keep
you.
the secret, but I'm not going to keep the secret.
And then that's how I know you're not the one. And then I'm going to tell you, what? I would never say that to her. Just like how he did. This nigga just lied about everything.
All you need to do is one of them to be like, this nigga said this, and then all of them are going to realize, and then that's it.
No, it's not. Cause all you need is one of them to make them other ones think they all just on some bullshit. That's all it takes is one. That's all they need.
In this specific situation, if a woman is in the women's quarters and she's yelling excited to her friends talking about the same thing that you said to 4 other women, that's not going to go well with you, and you're delusional if you think that's going to go well.
It worked for Matt.
Because we've seen it. It didn't.
We don't know.
Matt is in the comments furiously typing away, mad as hell right now.
I thought he went with Shawty, though. I thought he found Shawty.
We don't know that.
Matt found Shawty, dog. Matt was
like,
planting.
Shawty was not happy with.
Matt was planting the seeds, yo.
So,
talk about it.
Episode 2. There's another love triangle. I don't care about these people. There's a love triangle between Jeremy, Sarah, and Laura. Moving on. AD confronts Matthew. So she's like, you told Amber that you wanted to leave with her, and you basically told her verbatim what you told me, and that makes it less special to me because I went there on cloud 9 and then I immediately got knocked off because I heard her talking about you telling her that you wanted to leave with her. He goes, I didn't tell her exactly what I told you.
Talk about it.
Semantics. Matthew is very much like a master manipulator, I think. So he was like, I don't
like that framing.
He was like, I didn't tell her exactly what I said about you. I said this specific thing to you that was different than what I said to her, which is
about his mom.
Huh?
He said he didn't tell his mom about her.
Yes. Like she would love you and this and that. It was like one specific thing, but all of the other things that they eventually discuss, he told them both. So, and then he also goes, while he's talking to her, and he's like, I'd choose you right now today and ask you to leave with me, but I'm not choosing today. So stick with me. I'm going to choose tomorrow.
That nigga had motion. Mean? That nigga had motion.
Because if you are correct and you didn't tell me the same things that you told her and you feel stronger for me, why do you need more time to pick? Because if I told you I wanted to leave with you today, then you would be like, oh, give me one more day. That's not giving me I'm your bitch energy, period. Well, that's giving me you need more time to mull over your other option, which it's fine for you to have another option, 100%.
No, I need to tell other shorties.
Lie about it.
No, I need other shorty to know that I'm about to leave and she got an option to leave too. Gotta let them know.
Okay.
We leaving
so
tonight.
After that conversation, AD and Clay talk again. So Clay like apologizes for hold on. Did we?
Well,
Yeah.
We didn't go into the deep into their why he's apologizing to her, because remember he went off on her when she told me.
No. So we didn't get to this yet. Clay apologizes this time in the beginning of their conversation for asking her what she looks like, and then they get past that. So then after they get past that, AD tells Clay that she has made another connection and he's not the only person that she's talking to, and the other connection that she has made is with Matthew. Clay goes off after he already apologizes to her about the whole do you have a fat ass? Like after he apologizes about that, she's like, okay, we got past that, but yes, I have another person. And he's like pacing around.
But he knew who it was though. That's why.
She tells him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But he knew who bruh was.
Yeah. So Clay obviously, and he says this, he doesn't feel like Matthew is somebody that he should be in competition with. He's like, this is a man that is subpar. Like, there's other people that, when he's in the men's quarters, he's talking about it to some guy. I don't even remember which guy he's talking to, but he's like, if it was you, then I'd be okay with it. But Matthew,
that was kind of wild though. Like,
yeah,
yo,
like,
if she was into you, like, I could understand. But this guy,
yeah, that was a little weird.
like, you wanted to spit on your hand and jack him, Clay. Relax.
But Matthew, like, in the men's quarters, they show him, like, not even talking to anybody. Like, he's very much, like, an antisocial kind of guy. Matthew, you should not have been on this show. You should have went on, like, Married at First Sight, where, like, they give you a survey of, like, who you are, and they ask you questions, and then they match you to a specific person, and then you only have to deal with that person. It's the social thing is not for you. Like, you're not a social person, and that's okay. But this show, you should not have been on this show.
I don't really watch a lot of these shows, but when I do watch them, I notice that a lot of people hold the book. He's the only one I ever seen that was writing in it, like really writing in it. Like his pages was full.
He's a very analytical person.
Yeah, like he was definitely using that book. I can remember he forgot it, and
which is why I think he's manipulative. The man is very calculated.
I mean, that's not. I don't feel like.
And he's not dumb.
I don't like that being pictured as calculated just because I'm predicting.
It's not predicting. It's just like going out of your way to lie about something that you don't have to lie about. Because in this specific situation, like, we're like speed dating, we're dating multiple people. You don't have to lie to anybody and like say that you're making a connection with. You could have just been like, I have a connection with somebody else. And I did talk about marriage with her too, because I can honestly see that with the both of you, and I'm having trouble between picking the two of you, which is what Jimmy did.
That ain't how you do it, bro. Like, you ain't no man, so you don't get it.
But Jimmy ended up like engaged with somebody, and Matthew didn't. So
because Matthew left.
Yeah, but Matthew wouldn't have ended up engaged anyways, because Matthew. Okay, so Matthew. AD, let's get to that. So AD and Amber finally talk. They like exchange notes. They finally have their like girly talk. And Matthew was definitely telling Amber the same things that he was telling.
He was getting his shit off.
Yeah. Like when they finally exchanged notes, he's like, yeah, he asked about my father. He told me he wanted to leave with me. Like, same.
He did the whole I want to ask for his hand in,
yeah,
hand
boom,
in marriage.
boom. Like,
I
same
rock
notes.
with it.
It's very crazy. And that's how episode 2 ends with Amber leaving. She's like, I'm done with this. I'm leaving. So let's move on to episode 3. Johnny and Amy meet. They got engaged. So this is a couple. Moving on. There's lots of people that I really like don't care too much about. Clay is crying in the men's quarters over like AD and the entire situation because he feels like he shouldn't be in competition with Matthew. He goes into the pods, talks to AD, and then he like loosely apologizes for his behavior the day before when he was like pacing around yelling and upset about being in competition with another man. He's like, this is what we're here for, so like I overreacted.
I think that he kind of just realized how weird he was sounding, yo.
Yeah.
You sounding like a loose cigarette, my guy.
Yeah, and then he opens up. He's like, I cried this morning. And then AD being and she calls herself this, being the fix-a-hoe that she is. She's like so touched about the fact that like he cried over her this morning. So like they back locked in after that when he like barely apologizes to her.
Can I just say something? What I had an issue with this kind of little love triangle. Because what it was she was madly in love with this white man, and when he pulled the wool from over her eyes, then she went back to the black man. Yeah. I didn't like it. Made me feel sick to my stomach.
Mm-hmm. But she was leaning more towards Matthew because Clay had asked her what she looked like.
Nah, she had already experienced that kind of Clay energy before. She knew what it was. That was like her old thing. She was trying, but she knew that she wanted to try something different.
She was leaning towards Matthew because he felt like a newer energy. Like she
knew he was a white boy.
She knew that Clay was like the stereotypical.
Let's be honest. She wanted to be a divester.
Oh my God.
She wanted to switch teams.
But before everything blew up, AD and Matthew did have a talk about like race and everything, and he said that he didn't care about like. I mean, of course, what is he supposed to say? Blah blah blah. But you can't be like, oh, if you're black, then get the fuck out.
Could you just imagine,
nigger bitch?
Could you just imagine? He was like, ask me the question, like, I just want you to know I'm black. Just pretend you're AD and I'm Matthew.
I just want you to know that I'm a strong African American woman.
You're a what?
I'm black.
You're a nigger?
What?
Like that's how you want him to act? You want him to act like that? On fucking with cameras everywhere?
You're right. He couldn't.
You're a pickaninny coon?
So, speaking of that, perfect segue into Brittany and Kenneth.
Oh yeah, hold on. Get the horns out for Kenneth. My boy got him a tall glass of milk.
Okay, but so Brittany and Kenneth, they are like Jesus freaks. They bond over the fact that they both love God, which is basic as fuck.
That's hate.
It's basic.
Can we just say, though, that Kenneth...
So many people love God. What else?
Can we just note that Kenneth wasn't in the first 2 episodes except one time talking to Clay? And, like, he was just saying it so they're passing.
I thought that Kenneth was making no connections and we would never see him outside of the pods.
When I saw Kenneth, the first thing I said was, oh, we ain't seen this nigga's story at all.
Never. I was like, we are never seeing this man speak in confessional. But apparently, so Kenneth and Brittany made a connection. Kenneth is obviously a black man. Brittany is a white woman. She talks about how she wants a very traditional marriage. She doesn't want to make any decisions. She wants
talk about it.
She wants you to call her dad, and she wants y'all to talk about. She's giving trad wife very much.
Trad wife.
I had that in my notes so I could say it because it's a hot button word. But damn, I lost my train of thought. She's giving that. So I don't know. That's another one of those situations was like, does she know he's black? Does she know he's black? Do you know? This is nah. Let me not.
A nigga.
He did it for me. Do you know that this is a black man? I don't think she knows. So
nah, she knew. She knew. He had the voice. He sounded like fucking Barry White.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, he does. So we're going to speed past. They make a connection, blah, 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 traditional Christian. He proposes. She says yes. Next, Jess tells Jimmy that he is her number one. And she's like, it's okay if you're talking to other people. I want you to fully, robustly explore those connections. And if I'm the one that you end up with at the end, then that'll make me feel better about that because, like, you explored and you know thoroughly that I'm the person that you want, which is, like, so mature. Yes, girl, I couldn't do it. Choose me, period. If there's anybody else, don't even consider me. I'm out of the running. If it's another bitch in the running, I'm not running. Period. But Jessica is entirely more mature than me.
Was Jessica the one with the nigga who looked like Aaron Paul? I said
Jessica is the girl with the baby.
Oh, okay, got you.
Yeah, so she tells the man that that's her number one. He's like, okay. Not really, like, he's like, yeah,
He's
love
like
that.
He's like, I'm your number one, but you come with two.
Yeah, basically. So Trevor tells Chelsea that he loves her. We love Trevor. He's such a sweetie pie. He is. Justice for Trevor. She goes back to the women's quarters and like starts crying her eyes out because like, oh my God, Trevor loves me, but I like Jimmy. And it's so hard to be loved so much by two men. And then this is Chelsea. So then Jessica is there just like sitting there like this kind of sucks. Because like choose the man that's in love with you, because the other one I like. So it would genuinely be easier that way. I wish that's how it worked out.
And technically she wanted the inferior of the two men.
Yes.
Like
because
significantly.
Trevor is like stereotypically, if you like white men, way better looking than Jimmy.
Trevor could do push-ups with the girl and her baby on his back.
Trevor could bench press Jimmy. And Jimmy couldn't even like.
Trevor was the guy who bullied Jimmy in high school.
1000%. But like physically, he's the guy that bullied Jimmy in high school. But personality wise, that was his best friend in high school.
Yeah, he would definitely
He's a very sweet guy.
He would like help the kids bully him, and then afterwards, like, I'm sorry, bro, like help him clean them off.
Yeah. So that's the end of episode 3. Episode 4, Jess gives Jimmy a letter that she wrote to her future husband mad long ago. She gives that to him. Girl, you should have kept that for like wedding day. You know, like the gift that you give to your husband the day of your wedding type shit. Because then this is something that you wrote a long time. She makes it seem like this is something that she wrote a long time ago. You wasted that. You wasted that on Jimmy. Also, did you know that he looks like a pinky toe?
I gave him more of a big thumb.
I wouldn't even give him the big thumb. He's the pinky toe.
He definitely looked like he was in, he can't be in the sun too long though.
The man is translucent.
And then the girl oh man. Did we get to the part where he made the pick?
No. So Jimmy after that is a little indirect bitch, and Jess is like fed up with his shit. So she's like, make a decision. I'm done with this. Immediately after that, he goes and tells Chelsea that he loves her. After Trevor did it like the day before. So that's great. After that, Laura they go back into the women's pods. Chelsea is talking to Laura about how Jimmy just told her that he loves her. Laura, real bitch energy, goes straight to Jessica and was like, leave right now. Leave right now before you look stupid, because that is not your man. He just told another girl that he loves her. That's not your man. Which, love that. That's the only thing.
But she could have went to Trevor.
It's too late for that now.
Oh, okay.
It's only 10 days. So that's the only thing that Laura really does that up to episode 6 so far that I like, because I'm not a huge fan of Laura. We'll get into that more later. Clay and AD, they got engaged. They meet. She turned around. Ew, look at this body, ew. Like, and he's like, yes. But then he's not really like.
He's not sold on it. She's not. Okay, let's be honest. She has a nice body, but she would be in many cases what we would call a butterface. Okay, so now you're doing the thing again.
I don't like when you talk about women's physical features on camera, even when I agree with you.
But that's what people would label her as.
Yes.
So I mean,
like, the body is the selling point for AD physically, because stereotypically she's not an ugly girl.
She's not.
But she's not like the prettiest girl either.
I mean, like I said, it's very clear to me, that the type of women that he would go for and approach for don't fall into an average looking woman. And she is slightly slightly above average.
Yeah, she is a little bit above it. She is.
So
yeah.
so I could see where him when he's looking at that and like that's not generally his shooting point. So now he feels like, okay, I'm stepping down now. Granted, you could turn the girl around and she looks amazing from you looking at her from behind, but I mean, it may not be the same way when he's looking at her in her face. I'm just saying what the nigga face look like.
Yeah, that's what I got too. Honestly, you can tell when a man is like fully infatuated with a woman, like engulfed in her beauty, and that's not what Clay was giving me when he saw AD. He loved her body though. He was like, yes, slamming. It's undeniable that like she works hard in the gym and she is it. The body is bodying, girl. Like, I'm very jealous as far as that. Like, I wish I had that body. All right, so after they meet, Jimmy and Jess talk one more time where Jimmy is like beating around the bush. He's so indirect. Like, he is afraid of being the bad guy. He doesn't want to hurt people's feelings. So he's like beating around the bush for mad long, and she's like, just cut the shit and be direct with me. Like, just let me know what you're feeling. So he lets her know that he's going with Chelsea. And then she's like, okay, I don't like how you didn't let me know literally yesterday that you were going with Chelsea because you knew. And we all knew that he knew because right after they talked, he went and told Chelsea that he loved her. So he knew. And then she goes, and when you realize what you passed up on, you're going to choke. You're going to need an EpiPen to open up your airways because of how bad you're going to be choking. Because she's like, I know I look better than her.
I mean, but she's going to feel the same way about her two choices, too. So that was the funny part where it's like, yeah, everything you said about him
but
applies.
She wasn't talking to Trevor like that.
But I'm saying Trevor was into her. And
No.
she chose the.
No, Trevor was not into her.
Oh, he was into Chelsea?
Yes.
Oh, shit. So, shit. Trevor, you psyched out.
Yeah. Jessica was.
So
the only connection that Jessica had was with Jimmy.
Oh, okay. I thought for some reason I was confused. I thought she had two.
We wish that Jessica and Trevor
They would have
had
been
a thing.
They would have won.
They would have been the most attractive couple.
Yeah, they would have stayed on like whatever people would have wanted to see them.
100%.
That flick would have went up at OnlyFans.
Justice for Trevor.
That could have been a $25.99 OnlyFans.
Alrighty. So episode 5 is next. We see Chelsea and Jimmy get engaged. Trevor is sad about it, but he's like super mature about it. Jeremy and Sarah break up. He proposes to Laura, another group of people that we don't care about. Jimmy proposes to Chelsea, and so they finally meet, and then
see
let me
because you didn't say something she said in the past.
Shh, let me do this right now. So in the pods, Chelsea gave Jimmy a hint about what she looked like. She said, other people, let me, like, I want to let y'all know. She said, other people tell me I look like this celebrity, but I don't see it. I don't see it. That's what she said. And then she's like, blue eyes, dark hair. And he's like, Megan Fox? And she's like, yeah. And he's like, you look like Megan Fox? And I do think that was a defining factor in why Jimmy ended up choosing Chelsea over Jessica.
And the crazy thing is other girl looks way closer.
Prototype-wise, she does fit in that box more. But Chelsea...
She look like Megan Fox right now.
Chelsea in certain angles, like, I could see it. I don't know. You can't see it? I could see it.
Man, she look like Amy Schumer.
She got a really sharp chin.
Like, come on, let's keep it a bean, yo. Like,
she has a very sharp chin, but she does have those like piercing blue eyes. And I did see somebody post her from like the eyes up on TikTok, and people were guessing Megan Fox.
Somebody did say
it was Jessica.
Somebody did say if you put your
Chelsea.
thumb over her chin and look at it, you could see Megan Fox.
She does give Megan Fox a little bit. They meet. Jimmy goes to the confessional. First of all, he accidentally says Jessica's name when he's talking about being engaged to Chelsea. And then he's like, Straight up, she lied to me about looking like Megan Fox, but we can make it work. Damn. When a man is talking about what I look like, I never want "we can make it work" to be what he ends up like saying. So, really quickly, the couplings, right, are because everyone is like has proposed at this point. Jimmy and Chelsea, Brittany and Kenneth, Jeremy and Laura, Clay and AD, Johnny and Amy. I don't think we talked about Johnny and Amy that much at all. We don't care about them too much, but they're super cute.
Was that the one with the beaning thing you said?
That was the like kind of like she's the Puerto Rican girl with the Irish white boy.
Yeah, that's the Aaron Paul looking guy.
Yeah. So
they look happy.
The end of episode 5, the honeymoon start, and Jimmy is in there with Chelsea talking about like how hard it was, but choosing between her and Chelsea, which is like not how you want to start your honeymoon, sir. That's not great. Why would you start it like that? Like, could have been somebody else whole time. Close to being somebody else.
My boy is looking regret right in the eyeballs.
Yeah, right yeah, he really is, and it's hard to watch because you can tell that
Does he know what Jessica looks like?
No.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, you could tell that Chelsea is like feeling it from him, but she's trying to like stick it out a little bit. I don't know.
Like it's like one of those experiences for guys that are listening to the 3 guys that are gonna watch this video. It's like when you talk to the girl and she like show you just pictures of just the neck up. Mm-hmm. And she got a nice looking little, you know what I'm saying? And then you get there and she takes up 2 seats. You're like, oh shit. This is
let's stop doing coming after fat women.
Yeah.
It's making me uncomfortable, even though I've never been fat and never will be.
This nigga right here, yo. I thought you was my rider.
Never will be. I am your rider. I don't want you to get canceled. Like, I'm gonna stop you before you get there. That's the difference. Okay, so episode 6, AD and Clay talk. They're like on the beach. They talk about if her body changes. Like she's talking about inevitably her body is changing because she wants to have children. And she's like, how do you feel about that? Because she knows, I feel like in her subconscious, she knows that Clay is like the thing that he likes the most is her body and not her face, because it's probably an experience that she has on a regular basis.
And Clay hasn't seen her mama yet, so you don't know what you're getting into.
Oh my God. So Clay is like, I'm gonna tell you to get in that gym, bitch. Essentially, like, I'm paraphrasing, but that's essentially what he tells her. He's like, I'm gonna tell you immediately to get in that gym and lose that baby fat. Fuck is you talk about? That's unacceptable for you to be fat.
I'm pretty sure it was more in line of, hey, I'm going to be with you, and I'm gonna motivate you so that you can have that.
That's after she's like taken aback. That's the second.
Oh, that was the cleanup?
That was the cleanup. But he was like, he goes, I'm going to tell you to get in that gym and get to work.
Motivation.
Like, that's what he said.
It's motivation.
Like, what? And then, so everyone meets in this episode. All the couples that have coupled. Everyone is seeing each other. Everyone's seeing the people they could have potentially dated. I don't know who talked to who. So the thing in this, there's 2 things in this episode that I want to talk about. First, Jimmy and Chelsea are standing there. He looks over at AD. He's like, damn, she's stacked. Which she is. Bro, that ass is crazy. But then Chelsea is obviously like very uncomfortable with it, and she tries to make light of the situation. AD is right there, and she's like, yeah, she is. AD, let us know how you get your body like that. Like, Jimmy just said you stacked, and AD is like, squats and Jesus, girl, just squats and Jesus. Like, that's literally what she says. And then you could, like, AD is like, a little bit about it. So, Jimmy is like, damn, why did you, like, yell that out to her like that? Like, you weren't supposed to do that. Now I'm more uncomfortable. And then he goes to AD and has, like, what editing makes it seem like a 20-minute to half an hour conversation with AD, while Chelsea just gets increasingly uncomfortable and just like walks away.
Yo, whoever does the editing, we're going to look up the company's name so we can shout y'all the next time we talk about y'all. Y'all do a great job of selling whatever little lie y'all trying to build Y'all do a great job of selling that shit.
Yeah. So that situation was extremely awkward to watch. And then, so the next thing, AD and Kenneth talk about the fact that he is dating the first white woman he's ever dated in his life, which he said.
Shout out to the milkman.
And she's like, do you think Brittany is ready to raise black children? So they have this conversation about like the nuances of like interracial dating, and it's a very healthy conversation. And there have been interracial couplings on Love is Blind before, but this conversation of this caliber has never been had before. So I like that they included this, and it wasn't like her hating or anything like that. It was just a healthy conversation, so I like it. So the next thing I want to talk about is this bean dip scenario. So Jeremy is sitting there with Clay, and he's like, and Clay and AD, I think. And he's like, Laura told me to bean dip you. So I don't think Jeremy knows what bean dip means at this point when he tells Clay this. But bean dip, so AD is like, bean dip is like a titty smack, to both the titties. And then Jeremy is like, yeah, she told me to do that to you. So then I'm like, this white woman told you to smack this black woman's titties, and the body is crazy. And I feel like she was like sexualizing and making a joke out of this black woman and her body by telling her, this white man, to smack her titties. Like, that's what I took it as, honestly. So Clay doesn't take it well. AD doesn't take it well.
So what was that? We talked about it on the show. What was the black woman that was paraded around like Europe and stuff?
Damn, I forget her name.
That's what you felt like, though?
Yes.
That's what it was giving?
That's what it was giving to me. So I was like, you cannot make a mockery of this black woman's body and just make jokes about violating it. That's not okay. So then Laura comes over and she was like, oh, it was just a joke. It was just a joke and you're making a big deal out of nothing. Bitch, they're not making a big deal out of nothing. You felt comfortable enough to literally tell a man to violate another woman's body without her consent.
And not just
a man. That's what it was.
Not just a man.
A white man.
A white man.
Like, it's not to be taken lightly. And I don't know how it's taken from here on out, but like, I do feel like that needs to be taken more seriously, Laura, because that's fucking crazy. And I'm glad that Jeremy said that. And then Clay does not take that well. He's like, what do you mean you told another man to smack my fiance's titties? And then she's like, oh, calm down, calm down, calm down. You're taking it too seriously, and then walks away. And then she's talking to AD about it, and then she's like, oh, he needs to calm down. And AD's like, don't fucking tell my fiance to calm down. He don't need to calm down about it, because this is crazy. And I like that she checked her, because don't tell my nigga to calm down. Like, I did not like that situation. And now Laura is genuinely my least favorite person of this season because of this specific situation. And there is so much nuance that she's trying to sweep under the rug. And there's something wrong with you, bitch, for you to think that it's okay for you to tell another man to touch another woman's body jokingly. That's not a fucking joke. Ever. That's weird. You're a weird bitch. Done. Love is Blind episodes 1 through 6. Done. The biggest thing we got from that, Laura is a weird ass bitch.
Talk about it.
And that's that on that. And that's not, I don't, like, I hold grudges, bitch. You're irredeemable in my eyes. That's irredeemable behavior. How did you think as a grown ass woman that was okay? Ew. Shame.
We'll definitely have more on this once we review these next batch episodes. So we'll have
next 3 are out.
We know we did trash on the last Love is Blind. Was that Love is Blind the one that we did review last time? Yeah. We did trash on that last one.
Oh yeah, we only did the first couple episodes.
Yeah, so we're gonna do, and then we did like a little cleanup, touch up on the on another episode. We're gonna do better. Promise you. Talk FNF-TV here.
Pinky promise.
We gonna do better. All right, so let's get into some of this comedian talk, because Druski, he was at it again. He dropped another classic. It seems like
it was the
work husband, work
wife skit.
Yeah, so he talked about.
Made me so glad that my husband works from home. Cause the fuck.
I mean, hey, you know they still be
And
trying
in
to
my
jump.
field, he knows I'm only around the gays, so
They
we
be-
both we locked in. We fine. No
They-
worries over here.
Hey, they still be trying to jump in on them little messages though. I be trying to hey. Spoken for. I'm a married man. Hey, I can't help it. But in this one, it was crazy. Like, because I've seen this. I used to work in factory, so I've seen this kind of behavior.
Yeah.
Like when you have your woman working in hard labor like that, she is going to cheat. Like 100%. If it's in a factory, your girl works in a factory, even if she not doing, like she doing HR
no,
in the
but,
factory,
okay, the skit,
she is liable to get hit.
You always want to throw the blame on the woman. The skit was that he was cheating.
Yeah, but I'm saying like
And he was like sad when he got home to his wife
That-
and kids.
yeah, I was trying to lead up to that.
Like-
You wasn't even letting me get to that.
Like, nah, because you was trying to throw the woman under the bus. The fuck?
I'm just saying, well, you got to watch out for your work wife, because your work wife, your real wife or your real girl, because if she got a work husband, that nigga nasty. That nigga is vile. That nigga is waiting for the slip up. That's a nasty nigga.
Yeah.
You got to. That's why that kind of behavior can't be
I
happening.
wish I was in a situation where I could have a work husband.
No, you're not. You don't need that. You gonna come straight home from now on. Straight home, and you got to FaceTime your whole drive. But I think the interesting controversy that happened with this druski thing was there's another comedian named Killer K. His name's Kyle, but he goes by Killer K on Twitter.
Yeah.
And he had a very similar post that he did like last year.
Yeah, it was just way less.
The production was
produced.
I mean, we're not gonna act like Drewski's over here filming motion pictures
It's
over here.
just Drewski be on scene.
Yeah, he
like,
be at the site. He be on the site.
Yeah, like
He gets the clearance.
from Drewski's inception, regardless of like how much followers he had, we were like, how is he getting access to these places? So that's what set him apart. He did that extra little oomph that made it much funnier than Kyle's. Plus, I think I was following Kyle before I was following Drewski.
For real?
I think.
So it's funny. The person who I was following before all them, there was this dude named Kyrie the comedian. He's still putting out stuff now, but he was doing the skits first. But I always rocked with him because he got on stage. He still do stand up to this day. Like he really do the jokes and the skits.
I was going to bring that up next. The thing about these two guys is that they do situational lifestyle like type of comedy skits that doesn't translate well.
What's the other dude's name? It's another dude he right under Drewski now. He was just in the Rich Baby Daddy video.
I don't know about that, but
He was.
the next guy that I think about is Desi Banks.
He
does that
not
same
that.
type of like
He above Desi right now. He the light skinned nigga, the one who he had the red boots on. He did the video. He just did the video when your girl the hoe. He had Tiana Trump.
Are you talking about the nigga that be with the one that be with Drake?
Yeah, he was just in the Drake video.
I don't know his name, but I know exactly
up
who
next.
you're talking about.
He's up
he
next.
Definitely is. Yeah. He does that same type of like situational comedy is what I call it. I don't think that translates well to stand-up comedy. I haven't seen one of these guys do stand-up comedy yet.
Yeah, I haven't
The guys
seen.
who don't like the guys who write out their skits and they're like a bunch of different scenarios and different things happen. That's a different thing. But like when you're doing like this funny thing that happens in real life and you're just like making it a little bit more dramatic and funnier, I don't think that translates well to stand-up comedy. And a lot of people thought that tour that Drewski was going to go on
Yeah, it wasn't.
was going to be
stand-up.
stand-up, but it wasn't stand-up. It was like a whole talent show thing. I think Drewski might be afraid of stand-up.
I mean, he probably doesn't have the material.
And I don't think I was going to say, I don't think Drewski is funny enough for stand-up comedy. I think he's like a host personality. He's going to be amazing in that.
Let me ask you this, though. When it comes with Kyle, right? Because Kyle, basically, him and Drewski the same phenotype.
They're the same exact nigga. Like light-skinned, fat,
That's
literally the same
But
nigga.
that's got to hurt you that he has been so much more successful.
But Drewski just has a little umph. And then
the right people like Drewski.
You know what the thing is though? Drewski had characters that we fell in love with.
Who?
Kyle, the white boy was Drewski's character's name Kyle?
He
The
might have
white
did
boy
one.
that always had his ass crack out and he
Oh,
was like
yeah.
scratching his dick.
I don't know if that was his name was Kyle, but
Yeah, Drewski had characters that would be like
I think I know what you're trying to say, but I wouldn't agree with that.
I think that's what set Drew that and the fact that he was always like on scene. Like there were, it was kind of like a script. Like there was this same character that he had in a bunch of different like scenarios, but Kyle was always just like, oh, this be funny sometimes.
I think
Kyle is always this be funny sometimes.
I don't think Druski had characters per se like that were actually fleshed out. What Druski what Druski had was he addressed a particular person that you knew. So when you saw his video, you knew that person's name who acted like that.
He had that like white frat boy character.
Yeah, that was
he had like the country like
but that
white
was somebody
boy
that you knew. They didn't have names. They didn't have personality. You knew.
Let me switch it up.
They were just personalities.
Druski made comedy that appealed to white people also. Kyle never did.
Okay, I can see with that.
He did the white frat boy. He did the white country boy. He did the white like white trash comedy. He did all that. That was funny to what is interesting actually now that I think about it is that Druski was making fun of white people for mad long. And black people thought it was funny because he's making fun of white people, and white people think it's funny because he's making fun of white people well.
Or they think that they not know that he making fun of white people and they just think he making fun of black people.
But he's making fun of white people.
Yeah. No, I agree.
That makes me like Druski a little bit. Like, I already think the nigga's hilarious.
Okay, don't try to make this nigga like he fucking the comedy Malcolm X.
He's not. I still think that Druski is not funny enough for stand-up comedy. That basis is still the foundation of what I think. Like, I do think his comedy has limitations, but I do like him a little bit more because, like, he gained popularity with everybody, and I think he got more popular because he was making fun of white people. And black people don't do that as much.
Not like they used to.
Yeah.
Not like they used to.
And I feel like y'all need to make fun of these crackers more.
I'm with it. Just to stay in the comedy world, you heard about Donnell Rawlins and Corey Holcomb going at it now?
I saw a clip of Donnell Rawlins.
He was shitting
yelling
on Corey.
At Corey Holcomb? Was it at his show?
I don't think he was yelling directly at Corey. I think he was just talking shit to him on stage because Corey had said some stuff about Dave. Mm-hmm. And that's
his man.
Donnell Rawlins walks around with a big ass C on his neck. You know what I'm saying? So
that big ass D in his mouth. I'm sorry. You can give big ups to your
boss.
Yeah.
But no, and then
to
Corey
your
Holcomb.
Big homie.
I think Dave is younger than him.
Donnell Rawlins is the little homie to Dave, and Dave is the big homie regardless
no, anytime,
of the age.
Anytime a nigga makes you Ashley Larry, you're the little homie.
He literally made you put baby powder on and put you in a diaper.
Donnell Rawlins was on Joe Budden's podcast, and him and Flip was going at it, and it was like the battle for the most insignificant. Like that's exactly what this shit was going on.
The battle for like the
and Flip lost. Flip showed he was not
the most pathetic.
He was the most insignificant.
How you a cuck for a man?
Like that's exactly what was going on. Like they were because if you know about Donnell Rawlins and you watch Joe Budden podcast, they're the same nigga. Donnell Rawlins rides Dave Chappelle's dick the same way Flip rides Joe's dick. Like it was funny just to see two professional eaters going crazy.
Preach.
Two professional gobblers.
Keep going.
It was insane.
Yeah.
Insanity. But I didn't really care too much about it. I don't care about talking about Corey anymore. But because he's just not interested. He's just
like bottom of the barrel fucking like I don't like that we talked about him as much, but it's Cat Williams' fault. I blame Cat Williams, to be honest.
Yeah. All right, so let's get into this with Floyd. So Floyd Mayweather is another brand of black men that just rubs me the wrong way because their behavior is just so problematic. And I met Floyd before when I was in Miami.
I said, "Oh, have you? How was that?"
When I was in Miami, it's cool. I was drunk as fuck. I was in Miami drunk as hell, and we was at like a little burger joint, and I seen Miss Jackson walk in, and she was looking crazy. I'm looking like, oh my goodness, like, why are you in this normal establishment looking like this?
She wants to get chicken too.
And folks was over here, like, I was telling people I was with, like, yo, that's one of Floyd's joints. They like, no, it's not. And then I see her talking on her phone, and she's talking to Floyd on the phone. And then Floyd pulls up right in front of the restaurant. I just walk out there and I'm like, yo, you're the best fighter I ever seen. And he just like shrugs me off. I was like, man, fuck you, nigga. And I just walked back in, and I was fucked up. This nigga could have whipped my ass.
Yeah, but he
wasn't gonna do nothing. That nigga
Yeah.
is small, yo. Like when I seen him,
he's
he was
very
in
short.
he was in the Escalade, and I thought the Escalade was gonna eat him. Like that's how like he looked like a child in the front seat. Like I was gonna tell like the authorities is gonna pull you over for having a toddler in the front seat.
Obvious. It makes sense that a short nigga is one of the best boxers because they have to overcompensate.
No, low center of gravity is just it's you would think it's
Okay,
easy to hit him, but it's harder because he's small and quick. Hard to hit him, but
my shit off.
I feel you. You know,
Over here bringing biology and science into it, like that's boring as fuck.
but this nigga,
Napoleon complex, bitch. Like that's why your hands is quick. Let me have it.
so he was talking about Diddy. So this is what he was saying.
Even like P. Diddy. I'm not going to speak bad about P. Diddy because he's still a black man. Mistakes happen, and I can't say if it is or it's not a mistake, but things happen in life.
I hate him.
And P. Diddy business is P. Diddy business. It's
Nope.
not my job or anyone else's job to go on the internet and stump him and kick a man while he's down.
Oh
My
God.
take on it is it's not my business. I don't think it's right at all, and I don't condone it. Even if that happened to my daughter, I would be hurt. But
Yaya
that's
is
the
a
choice that
dumb
my daughter
bitch.
made.
First of all,
so I don't want to kick nobody while they're down.
I think the big thing, because I have girls too, is
your
though,
daughter has
no
no
boys.
hope. That bitch
I
is
have a boy
stupid
too.
as fuck.
Is one.
I'm sorry,
if
she's
your
young,
son
but
is
that
in
bitch
that
is
position,
dumb. You
or
did
your
a
son
terrible
is
job as
accused
a
of-
father. She over here chasing behind NBA young boy who knowingly has herpes. Like, you did a terrible job as a dad. She grew up privileged with money, and she chasing after a nigga with herpes and 11 baby mothers.
Well, she's one of the 11.
One of the 11. Like, come on. Like, what your daughter nothing. Your daughter nothing. Floyd, you're a terrible dad.
That's crazy to talk about sexual allegations and then reference your daughter as in like you're going to just keep quiet. You're not going to say anything. Like that shit is just nuts.
Did something happen to her and you did that? Is that why she's so stupid? I'm sorry. Let me take that back.
That was crazy.
That
But
bitch is so dumb though. Like Yaya is really dumb. She's very stupid.
I mean, I feel I
She
was
stabbed another girl over NBA YoungBoy and caught charges over that. She fully stabbed another young woman.
What do you expect when your dad can't read? Like, what are we talking about? Like, the nigga can't read the pamphlet to tell you the right shit to do.
Like, come on. Like, what is happening? It's just not okay.
Like, is he? I don't even know if he's 100% sure that those are $100 bills in front of him if it wasn't for the blue strip. Like, he wouldn't be able to read it.
Bro, Floyd is literally, your daughter is just as fucking stupid as you. Both of y'all are stupid. I don't know if this is what I was supposed to get from this, but it just reminded me of how fucking stupid she is.
No, I was just wanting to point out like that brand of black man who's like, oh, I don't want to talk bad about another black man when it's like, bro,
Talk bad about that other black man. Fuck that nigga.
I mean, again, it's certain circumstances where you can
No.
be like, no, there's certain circumstances where you can put into question what's going on. The nigga a political prisoner. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah,
Nigga going through some
yeah.
other stuff like this.
Yeah.
These
But in
niggas
this
not Malcolm
situation-
X.
Yeah, like
These niggas is not Martin Luther King.
it's mad videos of niggas being like, don't go to the take that man shit, and you talk about, oh, you don't want to judge him, he's a girl. Like, no, shut up.
Was you Floyd? Was you in the freak offs?
This nigga was in a freak off.
Was you in the freak offs?
He didn't even have to get on his knees to suck the.
He was just standing straight up and sick. That's sick. Oh man, but no, I just thought that was just some real nasty behavior.
And you know what? Tiffany Haddish is the same fucking brand of stupid as Floyd Mayweather is, because this bitch, did you see this?
She's flying to Israel.
She is flying to Israel. She was like, oh, I want to see it for myself in real life. There are children dying. You dumb bitch. This is not a sporting event.
You know how she's over there though, right? Like, you know about I think you talked about this, the invitations that they get.
Yes, and she's Jewish technically.
I mean, that's what they do. They find out you got whatever in you, and they send you the free trip. That's what you were saying, right?
Yeah.
That's what she's on.
So she's going to Israel to witness things for herself. Like after the allegations that you had for grooming that child in that video or whatever, like that whole weird like child grooming video thing you had, before that you were already not funny. First of all, let's start off by literally just saying that you were not funny. Also, you went out of your way to be a caricature of a ghetto black woman. You brought fried chicken in your purse on the red carpet. Like, I don't like the respectability politics like argument, but you go out of your way to be a fucking just like you go out of your way to be a character of like a coon, like dancing for the white man. I don't fucking like that. And I've gotten that energy from you your entire career, so that after you've fallen out of the graces of not black people, because you were never in black people's graces. Black people never found you funny, Tiffany Haddish. Your comedy was always white comedy because it's less than. You're not fucking funny. You make fun of black people. That is your comedy. Your character is a caricature of a black woman. You're making fun of black people. I've never fucking liked it. And now you're doing this whole like sipping your mimosa on the way to a war-ridden land like it's not serious as fuck. You're stupid as hell, and you make me I don't like shaping black women to be a monolith. I don't like lumping us together, but like you make me not want to be the same as you. Period. Like I don't want us to have things in common. I don't want you to be a woman, and I don't want you to be black. I'm not going to say that I'm ashamed to be a black woman because of you. I just wish you weren't a black woman. Like, ew, bitch, you give me the ick. Fuck. Everything you do going forward, I will never support. Regardless of, like, how you switch up, bitch, done. Like, ew. Finished. You're done, Tiffany Haddish. Ew.
I think she's like one of those actors and comedians who get caught up in that first real big role of success, and then they don't know how to let that go, because it's like,
bitch, why are you nay-naying in 2024? Like, I want to punch that bitch in the face.
I just think she's just caught up in that character that got her so much attention, and she's trying to relive that moment.
The shtick is done.
Because, I mean, at the end of the day, a lot of times, again, I say this all the time, and it's not to be disrespectful, but a lot of these people aren't as talented as
she's not talented.
Folks want us to believe, and really, they just did something really good once, and that's just the catalyst for whatever emotion they get moving forward. And I just feel like that was just with her. Like, people loved her character. She did it really good, and she can't separate herself from that character.
And I don't like that character because it was making fun of black women. That's my thing. Like, I never found Tiffany Haddish funny. If you ever found Tiffany Haddish funny, then your taste in comedy is less than.
Talk about it. Do you know who BarkyBoogz is?
No, I don't know who that
or
is.
Or BarkyBoogz?
No.
So he's a Twitter nigga, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, Lord.
And
I don't know Twitter niggas.
This happened a few days ago where I was seeing this on the timeline, and it was just so crazy because this nigga tweets that he got into a really bad car accident and that he doesn't think the other person made it.
Oh, okay. So I didn't know this man by name, but I did hear about this situation.
And so folks who started shitting on him because apparently, like, there was a report came out that the guy that was in the accident with him died, but he didn't die on the scene. So there may have been opportunity for him to assist, maybe stop some bleeding, anything like that.
But he was tweeting.
But that's what people was mad. He was tweeting, arguing with people on Twitter, nonetheless, as well about it. And
like while this man was like bleeding out.
Yeah, while he was bleeding out in his car, whatever accident he had. So it even comes even more that while people are shitting on him, a lot of the feminist Twitter starts coming out, and they start saying, y'all niggas are mad because this nigga don't bash women all day, and that's why y'all hating on him. And y'all niggas mad because he put his dick on fleets, and y'all seen it, and it was bigger than y'all.
What? Hold on.
Yo, that's what the conversation was.
Rhetorics algorithm is crazy.
I promise.
Because I saw this thing, and then everyone was like, yo, why was this nigga tweeting when he could have been saving this nigga's life? That's the only thing I saw.
No. Well, you missed out.
No, the only thing I saw was this man should not have been tweeting because he could have used that energy to save this other human being from losing his life. What are you talking about?
Yo, there was like multiple tweets from women that were saying this.
That's how you
They
know
was
how
like-
toxic he is. And, you know, it says something about how toxic I am, too, indirectly, because I'm married to this man. But that's how you know how toxic he is, because of how toxic his social media is. Like, it's crafted for you to like what you like.
I'm just
you
saying.
get the messiest, most gutter bottom
That's
barrel
what-
shit.
That's what the chick said. The chick was like, y'all mad because the nigga put his dick on the fleets and it was bigger than y'all.
On
so
the
that's why.
fleets. What does that mean?
You don't remember when fleets was a thing? When it was like the
No.
story. Well, Twitter used to have,
Oh, okay.
have to have stories.
So the man that was tweeting,
the man who killed the dude in the car, who pulled he pulled a Caitlyn Jenner.
had before,
He had put his dick on the fleets,
and he was carrying a hammer.
and the niggas was like, "Oh, y'all." The chick was like, "Y'all mad because he got the pipe, and y'all seen it."
So because he got a big dick, he can take lives.
Basically, like, or he can't, or he shouldn't be shitted on in the process of taking lives.
Ah, bitch.
That
what
shit
do
was
you
nuts.
mean?
That shit was nuts. I'm sitting there like, yo, that's crazy. The internet, I don't even understand the internet. The internet never works the
Put
way
his dick on the fleets.
he did. And then like the internet never worked the way I wanted to, because I had to wake up a couple weeks ago to the Drake leak, and then now I'm thinking BarkyBoogz, Nicki Minaj, and Ruby Rose got leaks.
Oh
and all that
my
shit is
God.
AI.
Yo, so let's
I'm pissed.
let's get into that next, because it seemed like there were, after Drake, it seemed like, first of all, I think it was like YK Osiris or somebody that was like posted a dick print.
Oh no,
Nigga.
that wasn't no leak. He put that out.
No, I said posted.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that nigga did that on his own.
Like, you're
That's a
pathetic.
nasty little freak boy.
Pathetic. Moving on. Then he turning you out, and now you don't know. And now he's gone. You don't know what to do with yourself. Go to therapy. You're traumatized. Okay, go to therapy. So, there was apparently a BarkyBoogz. Is that how you say her
Yeah,
last name?
Althoff, yeah. But that was all that was just somebody put her face. Like, that was old. This is 2012 porn.
Yeah, so
they just put her face on.
BarkyBoogz, Nicki Minaj, and Ruby Rose, apparently, all of this, like, none of these leaks are real, but they all had like AI generated like sexual content get leaked this week. And I think we're in like a whole new age of like content that can be generated with your face on it, and it's a different violation, I think.
But it wasn't even that bad, because if you look at it, the
I didn't watch
BarkyBoogz
any
one,
of it.
I watched all three. The ones that I thought
Of
were
course you did.
the 3 leaks. The BarkyBoogz one was clearly, you could definitely tell that her face was just put on somebody else's face, and
Was
she
it
was
just a picture or was it a video?
no, it was a video of a girl rubbing herself, and they just put Bobby's face on her.
Mm-hmm.
Then the one that they said allegedly was Ruby Rose was a video of her getting back shots. But all it was a girl who was light skinned, and I think Ruby Rose got tattoos, right? I think she got some tattoos.
I
But
think she has some.
This girl just had long black hair, and she had a nice shape to her, and she was getting back shots. And then the Nicki Minaj one was, you see like a girl with red hairish. Her face kind of looks like Nicki, and then like you see her throwing that ass on the nigga like a hammer.
Okay.
You see her throwing it down, and it sounded, it looked crazy. But none of it, to me, it's authenticated. Like, nothing that looks like, oh, that's really her. This is something that people would really think that somebody got out of her phone or something like that. It was nothing like that. It wasn't like Sexy Red. Like, Sexy Red, the only one dropping legit leaks.
Yeah. I think the whole, because a while ago we talked about the whole Taylor Swift AI generated inappropriate photos that went around on Twitter. Something needs to be done about this. Like,
Oh, my God.
no, I do think if I was, when we get like more popular and stuff, and somebody superimposes my face on a body that generally gives the same vibe as my body, like, I'm gonna feel really yucky about it. That's I'm thinking about how I'm gonna feel thinking about like people really being like, oh, this is what she looks like, but I didn't give you this.
It's just funny that
you're taking this from me,
but they're not. They're imagining it.
I know, but if the girl is like close to my body shape, I would feel weird about this. I'm talking about how I would feel.
I know, but I'm
if
saying
this was done to me.
You just did a whole video of celebrity dick pics that were dropped out without their consent, and you talking about I'm gonna feel gross because somebody created a fake image of my body.
Yeah, but like I didn't send that to nobody.
That's what I'm saying. It's fake. That's why it's.
Yeah,
that's
but
why
all
it's
the
amusing
dick
to
pics
me.
Were real.
That's why you should feel wrong for more than somebody making a fake picture of you. That's
sorry,
why
I don't feel bad for men. Y'all can suck my dick.
Again, that's all I'm saying is because the thing about the AI thing is what my whole argument is like somebody could legitimately draw that with a computer. You can draw realistic art with a computer, so you can't regulate me what I can draw of. If I see your face and you inspire me to draw a salacious or pornographic piece of art,
I think
you don't have control of that.
Back in the day, right? So there was always like let's get into like a niche porn topic. There's always like the cartoon things where like your favorite characters are put in compromising positions and you get to see them do different things and whatnot. And that's always been a thing, right? Like artists that have that capability to like take somebody and put them. But I think AI gives everybody, like just every creepy nigga, like with no talent, the opportunity to like put somebody's face on something else, and then like it gets popular. And I don't know. I can't get past the feeling that I personally would feel violated by this act if I'm somebody popular and somebody puts my face on. And then like your family might be seeing this, your friends might be seeing this, like 10 years down the line, you don't know if your children know if this is real or not. This is just something that like their classmate might show them, and you did your due diligence to not put pictures, not do OnlyFans, not do this and that, you know, like this real thing doesn't exist, but people can just make it up. Like it goes past just sexual content. People can make pictures of you doing crimes and this and that. Like I think it needs to be, there needs to be a way for people to, for the government, law enforcement to 100% tell if this is AI generator or not.
I'm gonna say this: I care just as much about as everybody has cared when they have superimposed small penises on men's bodies. I care just as much as how y'all care about that. And y'all don't care about when y'all disrespect men and make them look small with these same AI projects.
Did you hear the whole thing that I just said?
Yes, I listened to everything you just said. And they do the exact same thing to men with this same technology, and nobody cares. So I'm going to feel the same way.
Okay, I think the overarching problem is the fact that people can make very realistic photos and videos, and then audio too, of like people doing things that they didn't do. I don't want this to morph into like past sexual things are a violation, but like it could morph past like people like sexually abusing other people doing crimes they didn't do. Like it could morph past like. My
thing is this. So
that.
you know
I think it needs to be nipped in the bud before it like grows wild.
Do you know what War of the World is?
No.
So this was an old it made movies and stuff about it more recently too. But Orson Welles was the person who was reading it off on the radio. Mm-hmm. And it created mass hysteria because people thought aliens were attacking because they were listening to this on the radio. Mm-hmm. People don't need much to get into hysteria or craziness. Mm-hmm. So to kind of take the AI and turn it into this, you don't need AI to get people up in arms and to do crazy stuff. This is just another part of the layers that have already done that.
You don't think AI is the like now one of the easiest ways to get over on people, though? It's so easy to get over on people with
People
AI.
was
Because people are so fucking stupid.
bro. I've seen people do the font that they've seen on the news and stuff, like the articles on the news, and just post the font and just made it look like it was from a news article, and people believe
I could
it.
make our thumbnails look like CNN or like CNN live news broadcast.
People
if
thought
I wanted to.
A Sexy Red's video was real. Like, it doesn't take much.
The Sexy Red's video was real, though, right?
It wasn't her having. No, she did not get pregnant. I mean, she did not have her water break during the video shoot.
Oh, I thought you meant the sex tape.
No, I meant.
Oh,
I'm
okay,
talking about
you meant the okay,
music video.
okay.
That's what I'm saying. Like that stuff.
I was like,
But people thought that was real.
Getting penetrated.
People thought that was real.
Yeah, people thought that was real, but
So I mean, I'm saying like it's not hard to convince people otherwise. So to just say another tool is added onto it when literally we had a whole mass hysteria because a man's voice was on the radio and said some stuff was going on. Like, it doesn't take much to convince people. Like, it's just one of the added tools that's going to create mass hysteria if possible. Like, at some point we have to do better job of giving our people better discernment. Like, it just has to happen.
I don't think that's gonna happen. I think people have less better discernment than they did. I think in the age of like when people would like sit in salons and just read newspapers and discuss like political events that are happening, and everyone was generally aware of the same things because their only source of education was the newspaper, and they didn't have like little bubbles of information that were just constantly confirming their own biases. Like that, it was easier to do that, but now it's not happening. But yeah, let's continue.
All right, so do you listen to See the Thing Is with Bridget Kelly and Mandy?
No, I've never consumed that.
So this was actually originally a
podcast
it was originally a Joe Budden podcast. Original. He was actually the founder of the podcast.
So it was the one with the very thick white one, thick light skinned girl.
Yeah, which one? Because
they were both pretty thick, right?
Yeah, I mean they had some on them.
Thick, and one of them was like thick.
One is tall and thick, and the other one is like shorter.
Okay. So I haven't watched a whole episode of their shit ever, because I did try when they got signed, because I was like, I don't want to listen to them talk.
Well, Joe is, like I said, Joe founded the show, and he brought Mandy, Olivia Dope, and Bridget Kelly all together. Then
I know the drama that happened with Olivia.
Yeah, Joe came on the show, sexually harassed Olivia, got sued. She left the show, and then it was just Bridget and Mandy. They end up leaving during the midst of the Rory and Mal breakup. They end up leaving, and they do their own thing. So apparently
Really quick, do you know what platform they went on? Or they were just doing their own thing?
They were independent, but according to Danny from the Stop, shout out to Danny, he was saying that they were part of like this ad group or whatever. And basically what they did was they kind of helped funnel the ads to them and things of that nature. But they don't have that deal anymore. And he believes that that's what's leading to them breaking up the show.
Okay.
I'm going to just say this. I ain't never met a light-skinned woman that was hard to get some money for a nigga to fund their dreams. So I know they ain't breaking up because they couldn't find funding.
Bitches be ugly, bro.
But that don't mean nothing. No, you're right. Light-skinned chicks do be ugly, and there's still a country-ass nigga who is providing.
I know, but there are still niggas who will look past the light skin and be like, "You ugly bitch," and both them bitches is not cute.
How come when I shit on the women, it gets so much drama, but when you do it,
because you called that woman an exotic elephant, and all I said was they're simply not cute. You went in, you had a script to degrade that woman, and this is just off the cuff, just y'all are
my shit was off the cuff. You know that.
Y'all are not stereotypically face-wise an attractive woman. I'm not stereotypically.
Stop lying.
That was because I'm skinny, so I am body and face. Maybe not skin to all men. So yeah, skin color wise, not the.
I was just saying, I don't believe those two would have any difficulty finding funding for the show at all. Like I don't.
I do.
I don't. Mike, I know you don't think that they're that attractive, but to niggas up there, don't they are attractive women.
Okay, let me look them up because I might be thinking about the wrong set of women.
But yeah, see the thing is, I don't see them having a problem. I don't think they like each other. I don't think they do. I think Mandi is used to controlling a room because she has a really big personality. And she's not used to sharing his spaces.
Oh, this is Bridget Kelly from Love and Hip Hop.
Yeah, I said that was Bridget Kelly.
Oh, I didn't even hear that. Like, she old.
She is old, but
they both look old.
They are older. They I know Mandi's around my age.
Yeah.
But again, my point still stands. They can find a nigga.
They might not be old. They might just be mixed.
Yeah, they are. They do. That was another thing I was thinking about was why Charlamagne didn't pick him up because Mandi's show is on the Black Effect, but maybe because they got white mamas, the Black Effect didn't want to get them. But no, I don't think they like each other. I think Bridget is probably used to any room that she walks into, I would say 80% of the time, being the most sought after woman. Like
no, but that's the thing. Like neither of them are ugly girls, but neither of them are like fawning over. Like they're not pretty girls who happen to be light skinned.
They're not, but if you look at Bridget, especially Bridget Kelly. If you look at
she's mad tall too.
But you have to look at her past trajectory and what people were saying as her potential and the positions that she was kind of pushed into. You can definitely see where, okay, people thought she was going to be something bigger.
And they're both a little bit bigger too.
I'm talking about, I meant bigger as in popularity.
I meant bigger body wise.
I will say,
not big, but like a little bit thicker.
They're
both thick girls.
Bridget got a little bit on her. Bridget got added a little bit on to her.
Bridget is like, she looked like she like 6'2". Like that's a stallion for real.
Compared to Mandi, that's why she looks so taller because Mandi is super short.
Okay.
Mandi's super, but I don't think they like each other. I don't think Mandi is the type of girl. I don't think Bridget is the type of girl that likes a girl like Mandi around her. Mandi is very attention driving. She drives the attention to her when Bridget gets the attention because she's a very tall, light-skinned woman. Like
okay. So one of them is like, please look at me, and one of them is like, all eyes are already on me.
It feels like that, yeah. Because like I said, Mandi, even though she has she can be generally attractive to a lot of the crowds, she still is a heavy set girl. And I can see where it's like,
yeah, and she has a shortcut, no hair and all that.
Yeah, like so, and she's also like a very boisterous freak. So you're going to get a certain kind of nigga that's going to come your way.
Yeah.
Even if he do got a little bit of change on it, again, there's going to be reasons why. there's people coming through.
What was the reason for them to?
They said it was contracts, but I think they don't like each other. And you know why I don't think they like each other?
Yeah,
because they're dropping two different endings to the show. So Mandi's doing her own ending, and then Bridget's doing her own ending, and they got different people with them.
Oh, so we gonna get the tea. I also, while we're on this, want to get into like really quick Desus Samero because
oh yeah, he was on so if y'all not familiar,
and
Kid Mero
are doing a podcast together.
7 p.m. Brooklyn.
I'm from New York. Desus, the way that I am putting my hands on my wine glass right now, very, very unclassy. Let me just put this over here. So, I like Desus Samero very much. I'm from New York. They hit a special spot in my heart. I really like their content. When they broke up, I was very upset. I was very excited when I saw that Mero was doing content again. I didn't even care that it was with somebody else because I was like, if it's with Mero, then it has to be funny. I was wrong. Mero is not funny by himself. He's not.
Desus is doing stuff too.
Desus is doing stuff. Desus has been doing like hosting things, nightly show and things of that nature. Like obviously they had different views on what they wanted to do. Mero wanted to do nigga shit and Desus wanted to be like a Emmy award winning host. So that's what it seemed like. But yeah, I was watching the interview with Joe Budden. I did not get past 6 minutes of that interview. I think that his name was the Kid Mero, right? Yeah. I I'm terrible with names. But Mero, I think that his interview style is very thirsty. It's very like double dutchy, like you're waiting to jump in, but it's not natural. It doesn't seem like a natural form of like speaking. I have the same problem with Drink Champs. What's his name? Nori. Nori gives me the same like thirsty, like I'm asking you these questions, but I don't actually care about your answers to these questions. Like I just obviously very much have like a trail, like a map that I'm trying to get you to go on. I don't like that form of interviewing. He is less funny without these 100%. They need that back and forth, I think.
So the reason why, I don't know if you're familiar with the reason why they was broken up, because you said you only jumped 6 minutes out.
I didn't.
They didn't start talking.
I couldn't do it.
He talks about a breakup for the first time on their show, which is like weird when they're like 10
it's all
episodes
the way at
in.
the end, though. You told me it was at the end of the interview.
But I'm saying they're like 10 episodes in and this nigga ain't talked about it. Even Mello was like, yo, I've been kind of trying to want you to, talk about that a little bit.
The episode with Joe Budden, whoever they
Joe was going to get the mess out.
Whoever they hosted before that, I think like nobody would have even clicked on that interview to give a fuck. But people are going to click on the Joe Budden interview. So he might as well dump that shit off in that interview, you know? And
before I do this, I want to say, Joe, shout out to you again. A true masterclass, what you did there. You got everything off of you. You wasn't worried about. Basically, he got the whole conversation off of him and got Carmelo and Deezus to literally talk the whole second half of the interview. It was almost like Joe Budden was interviewing them.
He's a host, so that's naturally what he's gonna do.
It was such a skill. It was such a skill. You could tell like he was
like,
I'm not giving y'all niggas nothing, and I'm making y'all niggas talk.
I also randomly, this is really quick, random. I hope Joe Budden is on this season of Abbott Elementary because they mentioned him in the first season. He seemed to have like really appreciated it. He's like he was cemented in like outside of pod and black culture as like this pod god, which I like for him, regardless of all of the bullshit that Joe spews. I like that for him. So I hope that he has like a surprise role on Abbott Elementary. Done. Let's move on.
Be a nasty janitor.
Yeah.
But no, basically what he was saying was the main issue was that they wanted two different things. Like you said, Deezus wanted to be more of a traditional Hollywood star, and
yes.
Mero wanted to be more in the owner sphere. He wanted to have control. And one of the things that they talked about was a sports gambling deal that was kind of coming out before it was even like going to be real big. It was like right when they started legalizing it in New Jersey and stuff like that. And the reason why, this is what Mero said, the reason why they didn't do it was because Deezus was ignorant about sports gambling. He wasn't familiar with it. He couldn't understand it. And that's what took him away from doing it. And he was like, bro, you really stopped us from getting a bag that would have helped us in the future, because we would have been early on this shit that nobody else was on.
Yeah, if they was early on this prize picks and whatnot shit, like they would have made a bag from that. And that if that's the case that like Deezus was ignorant and short-sighted, much like your friends were. Because Rhetoric was like way more far-sighted in his view of things, and he can kind of like tell a little bit better, because I think he's smarter than most people, like what is gonna happen. And he like told his friends, they're like, oh, let's do this podcasting shit, let's do this internet shit. And his best friend literally was like, there's no money in the internet. Nigga, are you dumb? You are dumb. You're dumb. You're the stupidest nigga I've ever come across. He said there's no money in the internet. In the internet? No money? Stupid ass nigga. Short-sighted as fuck. Will never trust him to make any like predictions of anything. I'm glad I didn't marry that nigga. But like you can't trust a nigga, like you can't marry a nigga who thinks that the internet wouldn't make money. I will never trust your intelligence. Let's continue. That was off topic. I feel very passionately about how much smarter my husband is than all of his friends. Like I genuinely think let me shut up.
Yeah, because you didn't listen to me when I could have made you
40K. I just don't
in
want
6 months.
them niggas to hear this and be like, you know, she genuinely thinks of us as less than men and human beings, and just like she thinks that we're not as smart because I do.
Well, I mean, we could put you on the list too, because I could have made you $40K in six months. You didn't listen.
Yeah. And
So
I'm not gonna not listen to my husband going forward. So that's
and guess what?
the only time
did you look at the price of it today?
I don't look at prices of things.
It's at 50.
Like,
It was at it's at 52K when you could have bought it at
like,
16.
What? But like, all I'm saying is like that this man is superior as far as like his brain amongst the rest of the men, and I'm lucky to be with him compared to you other dumbass mouth breathing cavemen.
Oh, that's appreciated, love.
Like, very much a superior man.
But you're right. Like I said, that was just kind of the main problem they didn't have. But they weren't on the same page. Like, some people want to be taken care of. They want to come to a place where everything is already right there in front of him, and then other niggas want to make this shit happen. And that's just the difference between them. So it happens. Let's get into the Vince Staples show.
Yes.
Man,
I've been a Vince Staples fan. Okay, let me not say I'm a Vince Staples fan, because I feel like that's fake to say. I've never listened to a full Vince Staples song once ever in my entire life. I've never seen a project musically of his and be like, oh, let me listen to this album. I don't even want to fucking do that. I have no interest in listening to this man's music. But whenever he pops up on interviews, I like hearing him talk. We as an audience have been asking Vince Staples for a podcast specifically for years now. So Vince Staples decides to put out a scripted series on Netflix. It is comprised of 5 episodes.
Yeah.
And
about 25 minutes long for most of them.
Yeah. So we're going to get into just like a very quick overview of what we got from that show. I'm going to start really quick with mine. The first 2 episodes, lots of chuckles for me. Honestly, I enjoyed the first 2 episodes. The next 3, I was expecting like a little bit more depth, a little bit more like, what are you expecting me to get from your view of things from this world? I was confused, honestly. I did not know, Vince, what you wanted me to think. You didn't give me enough context for things for me to be satisfied. I like listening to you talk. And I know as a creative, you probably had to cut out things that would have given me more context. If you had it your way, it probably would have been 45-minute episodes. But like, I don't know. I didn't know what you wanted me as an audience, like what you wanted the message fully to be. Like, because I'm a smart black woman, I could like reach for things, but I don't know what you wanted from me.
I don't know. I mean, okay, so I guess I'll do my little history. I've never listened to anything of Vince. That's never been somebody who I've been. I mean, there's nothing about. I never really was into the Odd Future thing. Like, the only reason I got in
was not really part of Odd Future at Odd Future's inception when they started, because I was.
Well, let me speak to what I was saying. I know that
he left.
That's what I'm saying. Let me speak to that. When I said I wasn't really into that kind of music or genre, like the only time I did that was to get with the, other race women. Yeah. Like, that was the only time I acted like I knew what was on to them.
Mentioning Vince in Odd Future is like just a fun fact. It was never like a thing.
Yeah, I mean, he was just in a picture with him not too long ago when they did like a little reunion.
Yeah, but like
I know, but he does the little thing. Oh, and
you know what I mean?
Them ain't no really my niggas like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
them niggas ain't really my street like that. Yeah, I know. He does all that country
shit.
That,
yeah.
I'll be honest with you. The only time I ever sat and listened to him speak really for real was when he was on Joe Budden's podcast. I was never really impressed. I thought some of the stuff he said was funny, but I always kind of clocked it up as he's not really saying too much of anything for me. Like, I always got the feeling when I listened to Vince that was the nigga who dumb niggas thought was smart. Like, that was always what I got from him in just that capacity. Because he would say a lot of things and it would just be his interpretation of events or trying to basically pull out the most pessimistic parts of it and show that as reality. So
That's
cool.
funny that you think that like Vince's stories in general were pessimistic. I don't think they always were. I think they were half and half.
I think they always stem from somebody in a poor and impoverished environment and their reactions to that.
I think that's because of his environment, because that's the environment that he was in. But he'll also tell you that like his situation was like he had a house, he had a mother that was always there, the house was steady, like it was like slightly above. But I adamantly, like, regardless of what platform he's talking on, I'll listen to him speak. So that's why I feel like I know a little bit more.
No, I mean, I think that kind of stems to what a lot of the criticisms I was having with this show was like, it starts off and you don't even know nothing about the main character. So if you aren't, as you would say, a fan of Vince Staples, the main character means nothing to you the whole time. Like, you literally, he gets arrested, you don't know why he gets arrested the whole time.
So
they don't tell you if it was like,
I think it's
what the warrant was for or anything like that. They just say he had a warrant, but they don't say why.
Two things you brought up, I think, are one of my favorite things and one of my biggest qualms. One of my favorite things about this show, and Vince did mention this in his Breakfast Club interview, he says that like he's not meant to be the main character. Like, things are happening around him and they're happening to his character, but the environment and the things that are happening and everything are the things that you're supposed to be focused on, right? My least favorite thing, damn, I forget my train of thought. What did you say?
Well, I'll go back on what I was going to get into. This shit is really like, if you're being honest, this is like an empty Atlanta or an empty Dave.
My least favorite thing was how he left so much context open for interpretation.
I don't even feel like it was open for interpretation. It wasn't even discussed. Like I said,
it was just things that were missing.
Let's just get into a few examples, because of some of the stuff that I just felt like it didn't hit because there needed to be emotional connection. When you had Vern and ATL, in Atlanta, you got an emotional connection with him. You seen him in a fucked up position. His relationship with his baby mom in the first episode. You see his relationship with his job, his baby mama, and what he dreamed or what he wanted in the future. Like, you saw all of that and what he want. And this guy, you don't know nothing about Vince in this movie. You think he rap. Yeah. All you know is he a rapper.
He's on his way up. He's not where he is now.
Yeah.
People don't know him yet, obviously, in this show.
Because most people say his name and don't know who he is.
Who is Vince Staples is like a thing that is repeated over and over and over again in the show.
So you get that portion of it. You don't you where he's kind of just growing up, and not growing up, but he's going through the motions of it. You don't get anything. Like, to me, the funny part of episode 3 is the fact that they were making fun of OJ.
Yeah,
but there's no other connection. That's what
I didn't get that.
If you don't know who OJ Simpson is, the fact that he was a USC Trojan.
Okay, so what I knew that there was something that I wasn't getting in that episode. I was like, there's something that, like,
but you got to know Cali shit.
I was like, why did he go back in his car? Why did we go back to this specific? Like, it seemed like a magical Negro type of trope, because like he looked at the van and he was there, and then he looked at the van and he was gone. So I was like, okay, maybe he's making fun of like the magical Negro thing. But then at the end, when he popped back up and he did the phone video and he was crying, I was like, there's a complication in this character that I have no context of.
So yeah,
Vince, I need context. Like, I don't know this like off bat. Like, this is not the reserves I have in my brain.
Well, see, what they didn't do a good job of relating to, because they did. His name was Uncle James in the show, and OJ's name is Orthal James.
I don't know that.
But I know that. That's what I'm saying. You're not going to pick that up unless you know a little bit about Cali history.
If he had an uncle that was Uncle Juice, that
might have helped too.
That would have been, because OJ the Juice Man, like, that would have, black people wise, connected better.
Well, no, that's okay. Let's be honest. Black Americans, we know that. You Haitian, so you're not gonna know OJ.
I moved here when I was 7 years old. So not let's just not say that like I'm Haitian.
But you wasn't in the country
like,
when OJ was fighting for his life.
It doesn't matter. Like,
yes, it is.
Y'all.
That's not your man's.
I was in the country during all the Dave Chappelle jokes, all the this and this and this and that, and then.
But OJ wasn't your man.
You are right. Like I wasn't here during that time.
Now hold on. Pause for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
I want to also make another point of how since you aren't familiar with OJ, you wouldn't have got when he was in his car. Him discussing like, oh, hey everybody, hey the world, all that is literally
regardless of
OJ.
when I got here, though.
No, you're not listening. Relax. Listen to what I'm saying. OJ Simpson right now does that. So you don't. Okay, so let me finish my point then. You're literally cutting me off and you're not talking about what I'm talking about. OJ Simpson does that right now. He does that. Hey world, all that stuff. So you're not gonna pick all that up when you don't know who OJ is. That is what I'm saying is all of his characters in this movie, even if you go to the last episode, they tried to do the Peter Griffin fighting a chicken thing with him and his op. And the reason why his op is so fucking, it's not even funny. It's the point.
It's not a chicken. It's a man.
Okay, you didn't listen again. I said he's doing his Peter Griffin fighting a chicken thing where you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, he's fighting like a man and a chicken.
Okay, so that's
suit.
Okay, no.
Who's
fighting a man in a chicken suit? Peter Griffin is not. No, he's not. He's fighting a real chicken.
He's fighting a real chicken. Okay, yes. But in Vince's thing, it was Surfman, so it was a human in a human man.
No,
suit.
you're you're on the wrong episode. I'm talking about episode 5, White Boy. That is the episode where he went to a school and he talked to the school, and one of the boys in the school was his op's son.
Yeah.
And so that's where he came in. He was like, "Why your dad? Who's your dad?" Well, his name is Vincent. What was his? What did they call him? They called him White Boy, and that was the only reason he was upset with Vince. Was because that other people called him White Boy because they shared the same name.
Yeah, I assume that there was a lot that you had to get on your own. I feel like he left a lot up for interpretation. That's my biggest thing. Like, I needed more context. And watching his Breakfast Club interview, he said that like all of the episodes were supposed to be longer, and he had to cut out so much shit from each episode, and it was his first like go around in Hollywood, so he didn't know that like this is how it was supposed to happen. But with that specifically, like a lot of the episodes, I did feel like if they were just like maybe 10 minutes longer, then I would have gotten more context, and he might have been able to tell the story more fleshed out than he wanted to.
Length is an excuse. You can tell the story, whatever the time is just I'm trying to think of the word I want to use. A boundary for you to use. So even if it's a 10-minute show, you can tell a story in 10 minutes. You have to hit certain beats, and this show failed to hit those beats. I think
he was trying to tell a too complicated
You can't say that he was trying to tell a story.
I think he was trying to paint something that was way more complicated onto a way smaller frame than he was given.
He was doing what, and I wanted to wait to say this part. He was doing what Kenyon Bears always does. He does these short, overly paced shows, these quickly paced shows that you don't feel nothing at the end of it. You just feel like you wasted time. Kenyon Bears is the king of that. We watched Grownish, and every episode of the last 2 seasons of Grownish felt like, what else? I'm missing something.
If I had not watched that Breakfast Club interview, then I would have 100% agreed with you. But like, already watching that before I finished the series, knowing that he wanted way more context in every one of the stories that he told, and that he wasn't able to do that, it gives me a different like point of point of view, but it gives me a different point of view when I'm rating it, because I did watch Vince's interview before I finished the season.
And again, I think that's cool. I think you're making excuses for him, because
that's exactly what I'm saying. I'm saying that because I watched that interview, it's given me a wider opportunity to make excuses for him, because I know what his creative direction wanted to be. So like, I simply want to give him more leeway, because
I don't care about what you wanted. What did you get, and what did you do with what you got was empty bullshit.
Yeah, I told you again.
And what
I
I'm
don't
saying
know
is,
what he wanted me to get from this as a viewer.
and what
I
I'm
don't know what
saying,
he
and
wanted me to
listen, and what
understand.
I'm saying is the failure here was I don't care if you had 20 minutes to do an episode. You can tell the story in 20 minutes. You have to hit beats, and that's what his show failed to do the entire time, was to hit beats. The only part that was actually funny was the second episode, and it wasn't even the whole episode. It was the characters who were robbing the bank, because they were the most interesting characters in the show. They actually had depth.
Okay,
and it was
let's
shown.
talk about why you like those characters versus the rest of the characters in every single one of the episodes. Because he also mentioned that like he's not supposed to be the main character of the show,
Which is stupid.
Everyone
It's
else
called
is
the Ben
supposed-
Staples show.
Everyone else is supposed to be the like everything around Vince Staples is supposed to be the main character.
Okay, and before we get to talking about the second episode, let me show you how stupid that point is and how they try to execute it. So in episode 5, where he's talking to the kids, right? One of the kids gets up and leaves and goes to the bathroom.
Mhm.
They follow the kid going to the bathroom.
Mhm.
He sells drugs. He matches up with his homeboy. He comes back to the classroom.
Right
He
before
no
the period
longer is in
ends.
the video. He's no longer in the episode. He ain't the kid who told the other kid that, this is my dad is your op or whatever. Nothing. He means nothing to the video, to the episode.
What he
means nothing to the episode.
You mean he's not shown?
He's
after
no
he
longer
smokes?
in his inclusion in it no
You
longer
mean
matters.
Vince Staples or the
No,
kid?
the kid who went to go smoke.
Oh yeah, he's.
That's
not,
what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying. He goes over. They take the camera away from Vince. They focus on this kid. And then for no reason else on the show, literally what he did, the drugs he sold, and the interaction he had in the bathroom meant nothing else to the
I
show.
think you need to calm down a little bit because there was a kid that was in the class that Vince Staples was talking to that left, and
I
he's
just explained that.
because I'm just trying to clarify what the fuck you're talking about. Which kid? Because there's the kid that left Vince Staples' class to sell the drugs, and then there's the kid that he matched with. Are you talking about the kid that he matched with, or the kid that left the class?
I'm just talking about the drug dealing kid. That's why I just said the whole story about what he did.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is that child meant nothing to the show.
No,
to the episode.
it was just a
and that's the
random
problem that
fucking
I'm saying.
thing.
That point that you said about him not being the main character is stupid, and that's bad writing. Don't call it the Vince Staples show and then not make your nigga to have character.
If
That's
you think
horrible writing.
If you think it's bad
It's horrible.
writing, okay.
Everything's about it. This is horrible.
If you think it's bad writing, then sure. But I just want to talk about like the characters.
And you can't because they have no depth. You know nothing about them. You don't know nothing about his friends. You don't know nothing about his interactions. The only people he interacts with is his girl and his baby mama. And I get you want to have this, I'm that tough guy that I don't cool with these niggas. Them niggas ain't my friends. I'm only with my girl and my bitch. But that shit is lame. You can't write a story about that. That shit is stupid. I'm just telling you. I know that's your mans. You like him. Cool. This shit was trash.
I overall did not enjoy the show.
This shit was ass.
I really like Vince Staples, but like I was really confused at like what he wanted me to get from this as a consumer. The first episode gave me like construction of like what he wanted me to think that maybe this world would be, and I was like, okay, we're here. The second episode made me a little bit more excited. I was like, okay, there's like a lot of like nuance in this, and like he has commentary about like the black community that is funny but also like relevant. After the second episode, I really think that like he lost it from there. And then I feel like, I don't know, creatively, like where he got it wrong. The first couple episodes gave me very like Atlanta vibes. And he did say that Childish Gambino like was somebody that he called upon and asked for help on a regular basis. But I don't know. Like, I feel like
you suck.
I didn't enjoy this the way I wanted to enjoy something from you, Vince. We've been asking you for a podcast. Like, I just generally, I want to hear your off the cuff opinions about shit. I don't want edited shit. Like, I don't want a scripted series from you. I love that you tried this and I enjoyed it and all that, but like I don't think it was fully fleshed out the way it should have been. It was disappointing. I don't know what you wanted me to get from this. I feel like you're someone that's smart enough that wants me to get something from things. I didn't get anything from it. And I just didn't enjoy it. I didn't. And I wanted to enjoy it so bad. I wanted to come here and cape for you so bad, but I can't. I didn't enjoy it.
So the thing about this Vince Staples is this. Vince Staples is the nigga from Black Mirror. He's the guy who, you know, talking all that revolutionary stuff, and then once they gave him a bag in his quarters, he was quiet and he was just doing what he was told. He is commercial nihilism. All right. He is a guy who will show the pessimism, the dread that we all go through, make the jokes, and guess what? We're laughing at the life that we're all living. That's really what's going on here, and that's why I don't find him interesting. I think the stuff that you like about him, I just see the sham behind it more so than anything else.
Yeah, I feel like he's always highlighted a part of Blackhood that I genuinely don't see because I'm a suburban girl. Like I've never been like a hood girly, so like Vince's idea of Blackhood and my idea of being black are gonna be two completely different things, which is why I always found his interpretation of that like really enamoring.
The typical woman falling for the hood Negro.
I didn't do that.
Shaking my
I
head.
didn't marry a hood nigga. I married a nigga with two parents that grew up privileged.
Well, you're welcome.
Like, and that was my standard also.
All right. So before we wrap it up, I just want to show everybody. So like I said, we went to Comic-Con not too long ago, and I want to show everybody one of the comic books that we picked up there, and it's Scarlet Ranger. So I'm not going to spoil too much of it for y'all, but I am going to just give a kind of like a brief synopsis of it. So he's a young boy who gets some technology from his family's company, and he uses it on his crusades. The reason why I say crusades is because he's not really a vigilante. He kind of just runs into crime, and he ends up using the technology from his family to help. The Scarlet Ranger is a moniker that his grandfather, who passed away, once had. And in the midst of his crusades, he learns that maybe his grandfather didn't die of natural causes. So like I said, it's got a good mystery in it. It's going to be a 4-parter. Mm-hmm. We have the first 2, so they were really, really interesting. This was written by Roland, Coy Carrion, and Cy Vendeville. I do apologize if I said that wrong. But real good art in this, real good dialogue. And if you just want to support black creators, man, go do that. So yeah, you can go online and find this Scarlet Ranger. So it's going to be a 4-parter.
The art is amazing. We met a lot of like amazing black artists at Comic-Con this year at Atlanta Comic-Con. So this was one of them. So yeah, support them and definitely go check out their stuff. And
we're going to definitely have some more people coming up outside of Black History Month. I just wanted to make sure that we talked about it during this one, and we're probably going to make sure we add them and all that other stuff. But hey, it's a dope comic. If you're into comics or you just want to support black creators, like do your thing, man. Just support this guy. It's really dope, and I'm glad we was able to support him, and I'm glad we was able to have that, that moment. So shout out to Black Art. Even though
they were amazing to meet. Everyone was amazing, yeah.
Yeah, we'll talk more, with each person that we had in each experience, but
hopefully we can get some of the people on.
Yeah, for sure. That'd be really dope.
All of the artwork.
Actually, one of the guys DM'd us on Instagram, but you don't check that.
All of the artwork, no, I haven't checked that. Because I work full time. All of the artwork and all of the the comic books that we've gotten are amazing. Like that is the thing obviously that visually stands out the most is the artwork, and it's amazing. Like these are amazing, talented black people. So yeah.
All right. Anything else you want to get to before we wrap it up?
No, that was it.
All right. So just everybody out there, make sure you know life is a labor of love. So let's keep building moments together. And remember, your job is not your family. And the only thing you should be exploring these corporations. Talk FNF TV. It's your boy Rhetoric and Miss Reality. And we out of here.
Follow us on all of the social medias at talk.fnf.tv, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all of the things. Bye. Love you.
We out.